All right, fam. It's Saturday night. What are y'all up to tonight? We're live with that Saturday Night Live with AEC. Let's we got one person in the basement right now. Let's bring him on up. It's a smaller channel here from Mexico. Let me introduce you to Mexico Free Press in the house. So let's get this show on the road. Shit, I got an echo going here.
We have a little background noise.
So last time we were on just about all night till like 4 in the morning. I don't know if we'll be on that late tonight, but we're here to host everybody who wants to come on up and talk about anything we want to talk about. So we got Mexican Free Press here. He's the only one. We got no other auditors in the basement at the moment. I know a few more people are coming. And so why don't you tell us a little about your channel and what you do?
Uh, so I do more or less city council meetings in the town of Espanola, New Mexico. Back in the year 2020, the mayor of this town was a counselor, and his name is John Ramon Vigil. And when he was a counselor at the time in the year 2020, he was charged with bribery, um, some other charges, three other charges, and two of those charges were felonies. He beat those charges. Right now, they're currently dismissed without prejudice right now, so they can be propped up at any time. So once I found that out and heard of what he was doing, and this guy is only 28 years old, the mayor of the city of Espanola is only 28 years old. Um, and that's what made me start doing these city council meetings in the town of Espanola. Last year, 2 days before Thanksgiving, he had an apartment complex condemned with 16 families. I do agree that the apartment complex did need to be condemned, but the way they did it the wrong way. They did it viciously, and they did it right away. They did it 2 days before Thanksgiving, and whatchamacallit,
Right
and it
before
was in cold
Thanksgiving, huh?
temperatures. 2 days before Thanksgiving of last year. It was cold temperatures. It snowed that day that they were evicted. Law enforcement, the city of Espanola's law enforcement showed up. They gave them about an hour and a half to get as much as of their belongings as they can last year. If they didn't get as much as they can, they couldn't get back on the premises. If they got back on the premises, they'll be charged with trespassing. That's what got me more motivated to do what I'm doing now, is because the way that the city of Espanola is being run now, it's very crazy. Um, well, everybody last year, was all the city council members and the mayor was having a warm Thanksgiving with family and friends. They had these 16 families that were evicted to be out on the cold, stuff like that. At the time, they were trying to get vouchers from the government, from the USDA, to put these families and other people into hotel rooms, but they didn't have enough vouchers or enough help from the USDA to get these
Test
people
1 2.
involved.
Test.
You're live, Mr. Madison Audits. Sounding good on your test.
Oh yeah. Yeah, full disclosure, I'm being paid to be here. Thanks for the PayPal. I appreciate it.
Erie County fam loves
Yeah,
the guy. We
thanks.
can't get enough. He's my wingman, you know?
Thanks for the PayPal too, Ari. I appreciate it. Sorry,
Yeah,
I shouldn't have said that.
deep wallets.
No, and then about 3 months ago, the city of Espanola hasn't completed their budget, their finance budget for last year. So right now they're in deep water with DFA and stuff like that. Within time, the state might take over, and there won't be no more council members or mayor, the state might step in because there's a lot of money missing within the past year. I'm not sure where you guys are located at, but in the state of New Mexico, they want an opiate settlement. And the city was awarded 900,000, and they misused that $900,000 for whatever they could get. They hired personnel at the city of Espanola. They hired 2 other officers. They misused the money and stuff like that. So that's how I got into this whole thing. I started watching James Freeman, watching his videos. His videos are pretty awesome. And then I started watching Lackluster's videos. His videos also. That gentleman on the bottom left corner, Wrights Crispy, that gentleman down there, he has some good work, man. I like his work too, man. He has some awesome. James Madison, that guy, I like that guy, even though he's an ex-cop, but he puts out some good videos as well, man. Everybody up there,
even though he used to be a terrorist.
Even though he used to be a terrorist, he puts on some good videos, man. And all you guys that are out there in Florida, man, you guys have a good group of people, and that's pretty awesome. That's what I like to see, you know. I don't like the drama stuff, but you guys put some good stuff down there.
Mexican Free Press is a smaller channel. He's got about 1,400 subscribers. If some of the mods want to throw that channel link up in the group chat, maybe
it's San Juan King too. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for having me, bro. San Juan King's here. John DeNicola.
I don't see San Juan King's here yet, unless he's in the chat.
He's in the chat.
He's in the chat.
San Juan King.
Now and in the future.
Got him. Yeah.
Sorry, but I sent a video to San Juan King about 3 years ago, and he blasted the video, and it was pretty awesome, man. I give him mad respects for helping me out with that. But yeah, that's all I do. That's all about me.
Nice. I'll give you all a little update about the Lockport saga that went down. Was Lockport? I just got a check for $1,000 from them for the Article 78. I gave them a lawsuit for an Article 78, which was the body camera footage from the original audit, which kicked everything off with Lockport. What happened was, I filed for some body camera footage, the police report, and the audit trail, and they denied it. I appealed it, and then I sued them for it. And then they pressed criminal charges against me for harassment, which the definition of harassment is to alarm and annoy with no legitimate purpose, which is going to be extra hard for them to prove, because on the charge for that with no legitimate purpose was blown out of the water by a judge here in Erie County in New York State Supreme Court, who ruled in my favor and made them give me everything. They would have made them give me the body camera footage, but they admitted to deleting it. And they had to, they technically supposedly didn't delete it. What they did is, because there was no arrest, there's no real incident. They didn't store the body camera footage. What they actually ended up doing was, it was on an auto delete. So if there's, the police go into a scene, they put their body cameras on, there's no arrests, there's no real incident. After 3 months, it auto deletes, even though I full requested it within the next day of the incident. I full requested it. They let it auto delete because, whatever that officer said in the back room, they certainly did not want the public to hear or see. So we'll never know what he said in the back room. They covered that up, and the judge sided with me, and if the body camera was there, we would have got it. But the court made them reorganize and do their policy. So if somebody full requests something from Lockport from now on, and goes for auto delete, they can't delete it until the entire thing is over, as far as if the full request is over, like if there's the Article 78. So they have to hold it, and they had to rewrite that policy. They had to pay my attorney fees, which I paid $1,000 to file that lawsuit. they gave the audit trail, which has like 37 different people looking at that video, as if like it was some, because I followed it. 37 different people had their hands on that video looking at it to say, oh, we don't want to get that video out for some reason. But,
where'd you learn about audit trail from?
Audit trails, I think I learned about it from you, to be honest. And,
see, if you guys don't know here, can I talk about audit trail?
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about the audit trails because it's important. It's an important thing. But I did pull up two more people. We got Eli, the People's Guy down here, and Good Guy Activism as well. But let's go ahead and talk about that audit trail because I think it's a very important and very useful tool.
Yeah, it is. I feel like a minority in here. It's like we have some Hispanic people, it looks like. Yeah, Mexican, free press. I'm part Puerto Rican.
Why are you bringing race into this? Shut up.
Are you wearing lipstick, by the way? So here's what I have to say.
There's only one race, Rice Krispie.
Yeah. So audit trail is really important. And if you guys are out there looking at body cameras and trying to catch some cops doing some bad stuff, as Auditing Here had here, you ask for, if they use Axon, Motorola has a different one for their XF data.
Joe Cool.
Get some brothers in here. I heard
right,
someone talking in a...
Hang on just a second. All right, Joe Cool, mute because you're always loud.
Oh
me.
You look like a black ghost with that damn thing on. Where you at? I don't see you.
Ryan, what's up, everybody?
You look like a ghost. You didn't have to bring race into it, bro.
This is about
only
race.
One race, bro. That's the human race.
The human race is right. All right, so going back to yeah, don't vote on. Hey, listen, go back to. All right, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later.
Tell soft ass on, nigga.
Rage quit.
So the audit trail is really important for you guys when you start to look at these things. You'll catch things like what he was saying, auditing here at county. 37 people watch for it. Right now, the Land Police Department, their IA investigator watches all body cameras that are released to the public. And you can see that. You have an Axon audit trail, you have an evidence.com audit trail, you have a case audit trail, you have a device audit trail, user audit trail. All these things are important because you can really catch some good stuff. And that's what we're doing right now. There's a little city called Orange City that's claiming that they have no audit trail for a 12-hour shift for a sergeant that's working, and that's impossible. It doesn't happen like that. And you'll catch them hiding stuff. You'll catch them deleting stuff. But one of the good things is if you are like what Auditing Erie County is doing here, you can send agencies a preservation notice for pending litigation. And in almost all states, they have to preserve that body camera. I don't know if he did that or not, but what I'll do here is I don't know if I have a.
Now, when you say that the agency had zero audit trail, does that mean that they just never turned on body cameras at all?
Even if
they're just straight up lying that there's no audit trail.
Yeah, they lie a lot. So what I'm thinking is happening is either this guy, they're giving me the serial number for a spare one, or they're giving me the runaround here, and they just gave me an audit trail that just didn't exist. But when you pull it off the dock, it'll do a battery check. It'll say how much battery's on there. It's everything that body camera does, and it's amazing. I mean, it's phenomenal.
James, is that your word, or is it called an audit trail?
It's called Axon Audit Trail. I'm going to pull one up here.
Each body camera company probably has a different name for it.
Yeah.
You call it an audit trail. You can call it metadata. I think I've heard it called a few different things depending on what brand body cameras they're using. So like Axon's definitely called
Axion would call it audit trail. I feel you.
I did one that was like Mad Dog cameras from Salamanca. They called it a metadata. They just call it metadata. So it's got different names. So I think that's another important thing because I didn't know that I should have, like James said, to put a hold on that to make sure they know. I think that it's another important thing that people need to know if you're going to do that body camera footage to, request it and to put that hold on and ask for the audit trail.
And find out what the policy is on how long they're supposed to keep that. Some people, they tried to tell me here that it was 3 months, but I think it's a year. So they'll, like I said, they'll lie to you. You gotta find out.
Yeah.
Like here in New York, it's 3 months if there's no. Well, actually, every police department is different. Some are 1 to 3 months delete.
Yeah.
If there's no incident, if there's an arrest here in New York, these people have to hold it for I think 2 or 3 years.
Are you able to share my screen? I'll pull up an audit trail here.
I think we can put you up.
Yeah, you just put up that. Why is my chair keep back? Yeah. All right, so this is pretty much it. I'll zoom in so you guys can see it here. Let's see. There. So this is an audit trail right here. As you can see from the top to the bottom, this is Axon. This is from Edgewater Police Department, and it's a document that's generated on date and time. This was a criminal incident. And as I was mentioning, you're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff on here that's helpful. This one recorded started due to button press, stopped due to button press. That's when the officer turned it off. And then he edited the title in the video, changed it from Axon Body 3 to Narc Felony, basically. But what's interesting about this, as I was mentioning, it'll show the IP address that it's streamed to. It will show that the state attorney's office, they created a link for it. But I don't know if this was just an incident audit trail, so it's not going to have all of the details like the battery details and all that. However, if you look up, let me see here. This is criminal. Device serial number is that right there. It's validated, that bottom line. It says system. Anything that says system, it's going to be whatever the system's automating that it's doing. Now, here's the one from, this is just one single case that you're looking at here. Here's the one from Orange City. Look at this right here. This is for a 12-hour shift.
No audit entries found for this device. Please contact support.
Now, they had so many things that they're telling me the Axon audit body 2 doesn't provide the same metadata as the Axon.
You can see how easy that would be for them to create that little Word document. They could probably do that with just about any program as well.
Yeah, you could.
Paste it from any response you would get from Alabama.
Yeah, you can see that there is the same line. There's this. So you look at this stuff here, but this one here is an Axon Body 3, which you can see. I don't know if you see where my mouse is, but it says source device type Axon Body 3. They're saying that this Axon Body 2 doesn't provide the same metadata as the 3 does, but it does. I brought it up and
of course
showed them. I'm like, you're ridiculous. So, but that's what it is right there. Now it has not only this. This is just one incident. This isn't just the entire day. When you ask for this here, you shouldn't get a charge for it, and you'll actually see that how many video playbacks there were too, right there under usage.
Oh,
there's a lot of good information here.
What do you ask for this at? Where are you doing this? This ain't Freedom of Information Act type stuff. Is this?
This is the same way you request the body camera. You'd want to request the Axon body camera trail or the metadata
or metadata or the audit trail. Okay.
Because like for instance, in my case, they say, they auto deleted, but it also showed that like 37 times there's different people in the department looked at it 37 times. Why did they look at it 37 times if there's nothing to see there? If it's not important, if it's nothing to see, there's no incident, why did 37 people watch it? You know what I mean? So every time somebody's hands touch that video, about it. So they can't. It just makes it look like, it auto deleted, but like, well, if it auto deleted and it was no big deal, it was just shit camera footage, no incident. Why did 37 people 37 different times look at it?
Right? Yeah, you got them on that one. But Joe Cool, the reason why you asked for this here is you can catch them lying. Also, you can catch footage that they don't want to release to you. You can say, hey, I want all copies of body camera footage from XYZ incident. And they'll give you 3, but now there's an officer standing over here by his car that's on the phone talking to someone, and they don't want it to get out there. So you ask for that audit. You ask for a case.
I'm gonna write that down right now.
Yeah, you ask for a case audit trail, and that case audit trail will show all body camera that's related to that one. And if you don't see one there, and there's another officer, ask for the audit trail for the entire day or a time frame from all users that day.
I got court in about 2 weeks in Texas. I'm going to ask for the audit trail, for the audit trail.
Yeah, and here's what happened. There's 2 ways that this happened. If you guys haven't seen the video where a kid was arrested for being at he was parked in a fire lane, cops dumped him, put him on his face down there. Well, the sergeant walks out and he turns on. You hear it beep beep, and they're saying he has no audit trail. That's the one that has 0 entries on there. And then he says deactivate and mute, and you hear his body camera mute, and then the viewing body camera muted. But the other reason why this happened is Daytona Beach was sued for $3.1 million for an unlawful arrest where a guy stayed in jail for 366 days. And when I asked for the footage, the deputy chief in Daytona Beach Police Department said, don't give him the footage when the chief arrives on scene. And that's what they did when I asked for the body camera footage. So I said, wait a second, there's some more stuff here.
Well,
And what it was is they didn't want, I don't think they wanted it out when the chief says to the officers that were charging this man with aggravated battery, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. I just got a little tiny scratch over here, because that's not aggravated battery.
I sent it to.
Yeah.
And that's why they didn't want that out there. That's my thing about those. There you go. Audit trail for Axon.
Yeah, it's a very important tool, or good tool to have. That's for sure. We got, let's see, Eli, the People Guy. I don't think you've ever been up on this channel before. You want to talk about some of the stuff you've been doing? I know you got a podcast. You want to pump that podcast?
What's going on? What's going on? Shout out to you in your area. Thank you for the opportunity to be in your platform, y'all. Thanks to every single one of you for being here. And shout out to every single one of the supporters and the subscribers in the chat. Y'all.
Right on, Eli.
With that being said, what's going on, guys? Talk to me.
Good to see you, man. And I caught some of your podcasts. My girl just found it yesterday. She subbed you up and all of that. Yeah.
Is that podcast on just on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube only. I'm only on YouTube.
Your ears must be burning, man. I was talking to Awade Irizuri about you. He says that his wife watches your channel religiously. That I was going to highlight your channel. I hardly ever highlight channels, but I do it when I find a tyrant or where there's something amazing. And you did both, man. And bro, the time that you got that guy it was big for nothing, for muscles and for pictures, right? That dude, and then the security guard that had his face in his hands. Those two videos, man. And Abade hadn't seen that one, so he's gonna watch it, man.
That's it after Long Island got the legislation passed. I'm sorry, Eli. After Long Island got that legislation passed, when you and Good Guy went in there, Long Island was live at the same time. We hung out, and your guys' shit was much more exciting, right?
You guys ever met Cooking with Lulu?
Back, I'm back. I don't know what happened. I was lost, you guys.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. We're good.
All right. We can hear you.
So, James, were you ever able to get that sergeant's body cam information at all?
You're talking about the one that's muted?
There's nothing on it.
The one you just showed that said.
Yeah, let me see if we can pull. Does audio? Let me see if this will work up. And it's a little bit difficult. No, I didn't get it yet. I'm still working on it. Let me go in here really quick and see if I can't just pull that video up, and we can understand.
Because oh my God, they're hiding something, right?
Yeah, and what I think they're hiding on this one is they're hiding the fact that it was a bad arrest. They ROR'd, which is release on own recognizance, and you rarely do that as a police officer. Anytime that I've ever had that done. I've never done it, but anytime that my sergeant comes up and says, RO this guy, the sergeant didn't want to have part of that. He didn't want to have this arrest on him for the rest of the day. So an RO.
They do that a lot in New York, but you got to go through the system.
Well, that wouldn't be something to hide, because it sounds like he might have done the right thing, right?
Well, I think what happened is they've already arrested him, and then the sergeant says deactivate, and when they deactivate and mute the mic, everybody knows what they're talking about. They're talking about the case. They're talking about what's going on there. So
how could it be the right thing, though, if either he's legitimately arrested and he wanted to go through the system, or if he's saying ROR, he knows he's wrong? I don't.
Listen,
right, he knows he's wrong. So why wouldn't he just come out with all that information showing that he did the right thing, that they knew that the arrest was a bad arrest? And
that's cop versus cop. They can't do that.
Yeah, they can't do that.
That blue line thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I was invested in Orlando.
Let me see if I can share this one. All right. If I'm going to try and also share tab audio. There we go. Let's see if we can share this. I did a little bit of work on this one here. this is the case here, and this is what you have to, when you're looking at body camera, you'll notice little things like this as time goes on. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio really quick.
Yeah, we hear it.
Okay, you hear it. So I'll start it back over. It's going to show 3 body cameras here. The sergeant is coming back from this car over here, and this officer is going to go meet with him and talk with him. Now, a single beep is a power on, and the double beep is a start of recording. I've eliminated the voice out of this, and this is where this audit trail stems from. Trying to 3 officers.
Let me give you a rundown.
Here's the beep.
So he pulled up here. I was just coming here to grab blood.
Now I show it from another view, or actually no voice. Now another view.
So let me give you a rundown. So he pulled up here.
Wow.
Now the reason why I show it, excuse me, the reason why I show it from all 3 officers is because they're going to say that, oh, it's coming from another body camera. And when the audio from a body camera beeps right in front of here, it is loud. Everybody knows it's like beep, beep, and then vibrates and does all this. Let's go.
James, no chance
let me pause it. Go ahead.
No chance that you were that bright and thought that I could catch what he's missing on the other guys. I guess it's not that brilliant. You thought you'd catch the whole thing on their cameras.
No.
And why didn't you?
No, I'm not catching what you're. Rephrase that for me there. Are you saying I should?
Okay, you got the guy cutting off his cameras. What did you intend when you requested theirs? You were trying to get something on him. I guess I'm asking, what in particular did you expect to find?
So what I'm expecting to find is this officer right here, and the sergeant talking about this case. This is showing that the body camera for the sergeant is on. He didn't power off his mic yet. He's turning it on. Let's finish watching it.
He's an adult, right?
Yeah, he's an adult.
All right, so he deactivated right there. So that sergeant's body camera was on. The first beep was from the other one. You heard the buzz from this one. That's this body camera. That's what it does. So he's muted for a bit here, and then that's the end of the case. So they are talking about this case right here. If you didn't hear what the sergeant said, is this guy an adult? Yeah, he's an adult. All right, get him out of here. That's what the sergeant said. The sergeant's not happy with this call, it doesn't sound like. But this was just to show that this body camera's on, and they're actually on audit trail.
Let me give you a rundown. So he pulled.
See, he's touching his chest.
That's another thing to look for when you're looking to see if police are editing or not telling the truth, is look for their hand touching the camera. Usually they can't turn the camera on, off, or mute without their hand being in the screen. That's another
it right
one.
there. So yeah, Joe, that was just let me turn this off here. What I'm hoping is on the back end of this muted body camera is 2 things. That he said, why are you making this arrest? And this is a bad arrest. They also covered up a use of force. They covered up, what else they cover up in this one here? Some other stuff. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it's to show that they had the body camera on and they're lying about it. And the audit trail is saying 0 when we can clearly see from each officer that it's not, the beeps are not coming from their camera. So.
Yeah. I'm interested to know when. I could ask you questions to know when, but I don't want to.
You're good now. You're good.
Be the only one up here talking.
Hey guys,
You're done with your question.
I'm dropping a video at 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna go to that premiere and then I'll be back.
Oh yeah.
Love
Yeah, Joe,
you.
what you got? I'm sure some people will find some interest in this.
We'll bring somebody up from the basement real quick. I introduce John Flexa.
Yo.
So, Joe, did
all
you
he said was my name, Joe. What's so funny?
Yani Calimera. Ticanete.
Yes.
Did I
Dan.
slaughter that name or
Mine? No. Hey, how's everyone doing? I hope you're well. I love you long time, but I'm grocery shopping with my wife, so.
Just coming in to say
Give me
hi.
some
We
egg.
appreciate you.
Yeah, I
Some
just wanted to make
eggnog,
sure
John.
since you came on mine.
Yeah.
All
Well, that
right,
was one
everyone.
hell of a crazy live you did the other day. Woo!
That was good stuff.
If everybody missed that one, there was a very interesting,
It was. I forgot.
very, very interesting discussion on racism. If you
Yeah,
didn't
he
see that, we'll
leg
definitely
sweat Nick
go
ass.
watch that one over.
There's a lot going on there. A lot of
That
people
was a
called me
lot.
after that one.
That's why I started this stream with Joe Cool's the Black Ghost. I couldn't see his face.
Thanks for having us all.
All right, everybody. I love you, man. I'll
Love
see
you
you.
back.
I'll come on your next live.
By the way,
right.
See you.
That was a good thing you stopped in and said hi.
That was
Appreciate
nice,
you.
right? That was nice.
Major Lee Awesome just birthday, 50 years old, half a century, man. Happy birthday, Major Lee.
Third one this year. I'm telling you. Oh my God. Find that dude presents.
Listen,
right,
keep the presents coming, Joe.
Keep
the presents coming, Joe. I got another birthday on the 22nd of this month, Joe. Keep them coming.
We're gonna have to. Maybe we have to go out to eat on the 22nd
Hey, let me jump
for
in
the
real quick
birthday
though and say
celebration.
that.
Go ahead.
There you go. So, if you guys haven't seen on panel, there's a gentleman named Andrew that's been in the comments, and he's been talking about how he's a pilot there in New York at JFK and over in Newark, and he says he knows for sure that there's some bars that these cops go and drink at, and for the auditors in that area, maybe they should stake out these bars.
No, he just needs to go there and take a video.
We can get some cops pulled over for DUI.
Yeah, right.
Well, I know you can't do it,
Cannibalism.
James. We're down here in Florida,
No,
but he's
that's
talking to
brilliant.
the guys in New York City.
I'm going up there. I'll
Yeah,
do
I
that.
mean, we could do it down here too.
No, I'm not talking about like getting the catch. You can catch them, but to get them pulled over for DUI, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not gonna get them put over. It's not a thing, right? But catching them would be great. With footage, if nothing else, you can get them out that car, get them to stop that fucking car. Then you just leave that fucking bar. Officer, are you about to drive? Yeah, that'd be great shit.
Yeah.
So, James, I take it that
how many have you had to drink?
Right. How many have you had to drink tonight?
Is that alcohol
Hey,
I smell?
I'm sorry about my last performance here, and I'm sorry for cutting everybody off. I know there were a lot of comments here like, was Wrights Crispy drunk? Why was he cutting everybody off? Yes, I was. And
we had to put him on a timeout for this one.
Won't happen again. I do interrupt all the time, but it's worse when I drink. But at least I'm not a mean drunk.
Even if you do it again, you're okay, right, Crispy? We love you anyway.
He's gonna do it again. Every audit you go to it, right? He's gonna tell you the same thing. Hey, listen, man. Sometimes I interrupt a lot. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do it. Then after it's over, he's gonna say, "Damn it, I just interrupted. Didn't let you get a word in." It's a habit he got. I don't think he can stop it.
That's what happens. He gets in that Millennium Falcon and he thinks he owns the planet, the galaxies.
Yeah, that's the time delay from when his signal gets here. Yeah, Cliff, you were going to say something. You're asking a question. Sorry.
Yeah, I was asking about. So the purpose of getting that audit trail then is just to see if they are hiding something, right? If they're not releasing all the body cam footage from all of the officers on a scene or whatever. Because I know that Chase Allen, who was murdered out here in Utah, they never could get that sergeant's body cam footage that pushed him back into the car before all of the officers opened fired on him.
Yeah, all we saw was that one cop who was talking to him, the one who was like right at the door. This is the kid who was in that blue sports car. He gave him the passport and said, "I don't identify as that. That's just a piece of paper." He goes, "Oh, you just admitted to a fake identity or something like that." The cop was intent on murdering that kid.
See,
they all were. There was a conspiracy.
So you guys go there in New York City. Nuggets is a cop bar.
So yeah, that's it.
See
That's
there,
what
right there. See right
it's
there.
not only
He
to see like
says,
basically what you've got the audit trail.
and
It's
they
to see everything. It's to see.
Always had the walls
What,
are
when, where,
covered
and
in
why.
badges.
All right, so I'll tell Utah Cop Watch to go back and try to get the audit trail then on all of that footage.
Yeah, and there's
The
like a
audit trail
huge
has a
trail.
lot of things that are good for it. I mean, number one is seeing, like, did they mess with the video? Did they edit the video? Did you get all the video? Did they really mute the body camera? Right down to when they say there's nothing there, they didn't discipline nobody. You can see how many times the chief of police looked at it by name. Everybody that looked at the video, their name's gonna be on that trail.
Username, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Everything.
Slap the like button if you guys like info.
Yeah,
So
smash that like button.
I'll get in touch with Utah Cop Watch and have him get the audit trailed in on all that footage there. That'll help.
Yeah, and I got another one here. Maybe everybody can chime in. Does anybody think that like going out and filming police and cop watching, is that dead or is that still good?
Until they stop being little tire bags, I don't think it'll ever bend or be not good.
Yeah.
What do you mean dead?
Well, you know, like you go out and they're
violating people's rights at traffic stops.
yeah, but they're not doing anything while the camera's on them.
Yeah.
And that's
as far as
and more people who pick up the camera will save more people from bullshit litigation and bullshit tickets that they'd have to fight otherwise. I can't tell you how many times the cops let people off with a warning just to look good for the camera.
Yes.
So I've got another one here. If we can share this one here, I'm gonna hijack this stream tonight. But this is what I was talking about. In Daytona Beach, we've wore them out, tore them up in Volusia County. They come up and say hi, give fist bumps all the time. On Your Oath and I were at a Buc-ee's doing the Buck Fuckies thing, and this guy right here, I talked about on last one. This guy was super nice. His name is Guchari, and he was like, "Yo, you guys, you're all good. Everything's good. I'm not coming out here. I'm just coming to say hi because I see your videos." He was really polite and nice.
Yeah.
But what happens when they're not in front of the camera? You ready to see?
Okay.
This is the same guy that was like, "Oh, this guy was great. He was a nice guy." So the backstory of this one here is this kid is driving a pickup truck. It's a diesel with an exhaust on it. He had a tarp over the back of his car. The cop didn't really see him doing anything. He heard it. And then he said there's a signal 12, which is a reckless driver. And that started off 7 or 8 cops surrounded a neighborhood trying to find him. They thought the car was running, but he didn't ever light him up. A 12F is a fleeing and eluding, and then a signal 12 is just a reckless driver. So he finally found him, and it's a 19-year-old kid, and Guchari is accusing him of driving, but he's saying that his girlfriend is driving. And this is what happens when these guys don't know that the cops or that the camera's on them.
Right on.
Admit it, you were driving, right? I'm walking out of here. Be a man. Okay. You're my new favorite target, dude. Nah, you're my new favorite target. I'm gonna get you.
Ooh.
How you guys doing?
You're my new favorite target.
Huh?
I said you're my new favorite target. Man.
Yeah. This is
Very good.
Oh, it's you.
No,
I know you.
I don't know you.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Did you guys hear that? Joe, hold on a second. Hold on. No, I'm letting the audience in the,
Camera,
in
I'm
the
gonna
chat
pull
here.
everything I can.
Yeah.
I mean,
What was your name? Guruchari. I've dealt with you.
I don't deal with anybody. I speak to people.
Oh no, that's fine, man. No, he's driving like an idiot.
Did you guys in chat? I don't know if you guys heard that or not.
That was good.
Lunatic was probably laughing over the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm just checking there. So,
Oh yeah, we heard it all, dude. That was
Yeah, I remember that.
You're my new target. That was great.
That was
Busted.
great. His tone changed. Oh, hey. that shit was great.
so that's what when they don't know a camera's recording, that's who they are. When the camera's recording, sir, just drive slow down, drive safe.
Let me tell you, my most popular video is a video that I put out of James, Southwest Florida Oath Accountability Project. What's his new channel called?
I don't know.
South Florida.
Him and the late Jay Surreal got pulled over at
open
gunpoint.
government
right
investigations.
Open government investigations. Thank you, brother. They got pulled over at gunpoint because they were following a cop who was speeding. He made a UE and drew down on them. He went from a threat level matrix 1 to a 6 and drew down on them. The sheriff, Carmine Marcino or something like that, he went to the news the next morning and got ahead of the story and got the local news to highlight how these guys reacted to being threatened with their lives ending.
That
Being
sounds
shot.
familiar as fuck. Yeah.
The cops said that their feelings were hurt because these guys were cussing them out and stuff. The very next night, Jason Real and OGI walked up on these other cops from this agency threatening a father whose son was like just a teenager mischief thing. They were cussing out the father, saying, effing this, effing that, we'll take you to jail. And Jason Real was like, oof, oof. The way that this cop was talking, it's just, they were walking up on it, so they didn't know there were any cameras there. When the cameras were rolling, they act like the little victim, you know?
Yeah. Same in Chicago. I've seen them when I get pop up there. I've seen a guy going up the one way the wrong way, of guns, alcohol, back. Yeah, everything fucking changes when they see that camera. And I know that when I'm not around, everybody gets the same treatment.
And the sheriff's narrative was that, oh, these cops were just berated and their feelings were hurt. They could have been fighting crime, but they were dealing with these guys. When the very next night, I'm not exaggerating, it was the very next night, their cops were cussing out a father for nothing, an innocent father, threatening him with jail.
Does anybody on this panel know Tyrant? Was it Tyrant Terminator audits?
I've watched his vids. I don't know.
I've been trying to get a hold of him, trying to get him to come up here because I like his style. Just want to
yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, good energy, all that shit.
I shared one of his audits when he first started out. He's legit.
He's calm about it.
Yeah, I think I titled the video "New Auditor Slaps the HIPAA Out of Him."
Dude, Rogue Nation has all of the titles of all of his videos memorized in his head. How many? You have like 2,000 videos?
Yeah, there's 1,600.
And you have them all memorized.
No, 1,600.
Yeah, but if we walk into the facility, you're like, I've been here before. It was called...
The title is...
Act Stupid. Yeah.
Hey, he ain't lying either, dude. We walked into the health department, and I was like, I've been here before.
You got that? You got that audio handy by chance this time around? You know, uncomfortable. You got that audio handy by chance? I got an echo in here.
Yeah, somebody on YouTube.
Hey, man, can I shout out Eric Brandt's info real quick?
Absolutely. Why don't you throw it up in the chat too? I'll link it for the. Does anybody know how long he's got in there?
Yeah, he has at least 5 more years. Unfortunately, his appeal was just turned down, man.
Really?
Yes, dude. It's ridiculous. He's in there. He got sentenced to 12 years, right? And he's got at least 5 more before he has a chance. In a reality, in a perfect world, maybe in 4 months, the same judge that just turned down his appeal will give him a reduced sentence. But the point is that even the prosecutor said that he's a warrior for the First Amendment, quote unquote. And the judge who sentenced him was about to retire, and he was just like, don't you dare look up here at the box seats of the arena. You stay down there. They don't care what we do to each other. A guy's in jail with him for burning down his house with his kids, and he only got 10 years. Eric got 12 years.
That's heavy, right? If you
what was he
think about
on?
it.
for threatening a federal judge or something like that.
Yeah, I actually, well, it could have been other ones, but one of them was I wish I could see someone shoot you in the head and your brains splatter on your kids.
Well,
That was one they talked about in court.
He didn't actually burn down a house full of a family, and
Yeah.
the address should read 21,003 Highway 350 East, not East Model. Model, Colorado is where he is, and he's in good spirits. He was saying thanks to everybody who has written to him so far, because we started doing this in Thanksgiving, and now's a good time to let him, if not just him, anybody else you know who's locked up right now. He
just had a birthday too. If him and Rogue, yeah.
Just before Thanksgiving,
Royce, throw that link in the description again. I had to before it didn't take.
Hey, before you jump too far, that the Volusia sheriff here, his name is Mike Chitwood. People were saying stuff about him on 4chan, not directly. The guy was just convicted and a year in jail for this very similar thing. They were complaining about people's freedom of speech, and I don't condone it. They were talking about like anti-Semitic comments, and then on 4chan, apparently this guy posted, well, just put something in them, and that'll solve that problem. And he got a year for that. When I say put something in
violence, that's different. We have responsibilities with our rights, and that is breaking that responsibility where you don't call for violence on a certain people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm just saying. You just got to, all these people, you just got to be careful what you say, because you say it the wrong way. And
for whatever reason, when you keep throwing that link up, it doesn't let it go through until somebody's got to approve it, one of the moderators, and I can't link it because it never shows up on my screen here.
Yeah. John got it in the chat there. Is not accessible in the chat.
It's got his name and his number. And with the correction, it's not the full address.
All right.
1131 Trinidad Correctional Facility, 21,000 Highway 350 East, Model, Colorado 81059. Not East Model, Colorado. I didn't put that address, and it still shows up there with the same messed up address anyway. So
text it to me, right?
They ain't no E, man. It's still people, man. They don't want anyone to be right there while he's locked up. The judge, when he sentenced him, the judge who sentenced him for making the threat told him, "I wish that I could put you, I let you off and give you probation if I could put you in a ring and let the other judge beat up on you." How similar is that to what he's giving this dude 12 years for?
Yeah. The overzealous judge was just like, I don't care what happens with him after this. I'm going to give him like the fight of his life, 12 years.
Yeah.
And even if he gets it reduced, at least in the first couple of years, he won't qualify for a lot of prison stuff that people with lesser sentences qualify for. He told me that about a year ago, that he couldn't do a lot of shit because of that, Don't you dare threaten one of them. They can threaten like senators and congressmen to talk about judges all they want, but one of we the people say something. Yeah. Far left.
Yeah, last time the judge made him come over there to Denver as opposed to doing it.
81059, right? 81059.
Did you text it to me? I didn't get that. I got a bad signal here though. I liked a lot of people to send them letters because I've been to prison, and getting a letter make your day. And
it's everything.
Who is in there so raw.
Even among the people around you, they look at you different when you still got contact with the outside. You get letters and shit. That's a status thing in there, man.
When you write too many letters, they think you're a snitch, though.
I never heard that one.
Really?
So auditors that are in jail, just an update on Lafayette County audits out of Mississippi, and he's in the Galveston jail still since August 14th, and his attorney, public pretender, has seen him once since he's been in jail, and they're just continuing, continuance. So he hasn't even really gotten any motions. He's been putting in motions himself. They're being denied. His attorney hasn't made one motion to the court at all.
Brutal. James, this makes me think of a question I had you about the cameras earlier. Let's assume you catch something that shows that he definitely, with the beeps or whatever, yeah, he's lying. The camera's on. There should be some data. Then what? He never gets held responsible for anything, right?
Well, it would be the agency. So what you do is you start digging around the agency more, knowing that they're doing stuff, and you can report them to different agencies. Like a lot of people think Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Well, we're learning about the Division of Ethics. The chief is not holding these people accountable. They're not doing anything. So we start looking at the chief in one city, and he's from the grapevine. They're like, "Why are they coming here? What did we do? Why are they doing this?" All department, 12 people, 15 people.
Why? What is so funny?
He said, "Fuck it, I will look into the chief." That shit funny,
Yeah.
man.
So I don't know if I have them around here, but I think it's in my file cabinet. But you start looking at the chief. If they're not going to start handling their stuff together, the chief has got to be something. So we looked at his financial disclosure forms. He doesn't list his retirement that he got from the previous agency. He doesn't list his home that he shares with his wife, and you're required to share all this stuff. And then he didn't turn in his financial disclosure form for 2021. So the Division of Ethics usually fines like $2,000 a year if you don't turn it in. So it's going to come out of his
rights.
Who is it?
So yeah, so what you can do then, if you don't want to do all that extra work and start, just digging into the agency, you can sue them and then get a writ of mandamus and file it in court, and hopefully they'll an injunction against the department saying don't do this again.
Digging into the agency shit, that may be an angle, bro. Pursue that shit, stay on that shit, right?
Yeah, just like the agency, the same one that were here, we sent out the certified letter to their insurance companies, and next thing I know, they're taking all the tint off their windows.
Oh, I thought that was brilliant. Tell me your insurance thing, how you did the roundabout on that shit with the
if you see,
tenant.
so the cops were dumb enough to let me put a tent meter on here. You're dumb enough, and it's legal. I'm going to go through the motions to get you to have that tent taken off. Because what you do is you go to their insurance.
Closer to the mic, James.
I'm close.
All right,
you get their insurance company to force them to take it off because it's a liability.
Just like that.
That's it. He who has the most money is the boss.
ASMR.
So in other words, you go to the cops and tell them, hey, you guys got this tent. Hey, there's nothing we can do about it. So it was his thought, well, the insurance company may do something about it. I thought that was tactical as fuck.
It is a liability for them to be driving around with dark tent when they get in crashes. And you just make that legal threat. If anybody gets in a crash with an Orange City police officer, I'm sending them this letter that you were notified and noticed of it. But instead, the tent come off. It's tent's off.
Brilliant. You guys need to talk. I'm doing everything I can do to resist from fucking going off. I talk too fucking much. I will divert, man. You guys are quiet as fuck.
Joe, did you like my Madison versus Big Nick soda?
Yes, this should continue to the group chat.
Get up here on the panel. It's all guys on here all the time. She's in the chat. She should come up on panel.
And her guy been just on a fucking tear, right? I was like, oh my God, don't do it. I'm watching them like this. No, don't. These motherfuckers. Woo.
So everybody on the
they're doing good work there in Indiana and Kentucky, that's for sure.
Everybody down here in the chat, this is the official address that Wright sent me, and if you can, pick up your notepad, write this guy a letter.
Wait a second, there's an error in that one. It's East Space Model.
Yeah, don't send your letters to East Model.
Oh, keep putting them arrows in there, though. Y'all making my night. Will, what's good, man?
Thanks for letting me on, guys. Nah, man, chilling. For a while, I I stayed away from the community in some respects, man, because I would just be auditing and doing my other types of activism so much. And then I would get home and I'd roll up and I'd be like, all right, let me watch some auditing videos. And then I would throw on some of y'all's videos and I would get so, because I'm one of those people that I get mad, like my
competitive. I hear you.
Boiling. And I'm like, you know what? I took like a year off from watching auditing videos. Couldn't sleep. I literally couldn't sleep because I go out and deal with police all day. And then I come and see, oh, cop kills a deacon. Oh, cop to change a 7-year-old black. I just get punched in the face. And I was like, yo, I got to chill. So first of all, I want to say thank you again to everybody here. James Madison, this is my first time interacting with you on a digital platform. And I want to say, as I've said to everybody here, I'm a big fan of your work, man. James, you're the fucking man, dude.
He's just as good
damn, that's fake Mike Real News.
Yeah.
Where's my whisker at, man? I need a whisker.
He's got the fake mic in his hand.
That's it. Oh my gosh, man, that is so funny. I love your stuff too.
Hey, you think he's good virtual? Try him in real life. Yeah, James really.
Thanks, man. That's cool. Awesome. Yeah. That is so funny. I love what you do. It's hilarious.
Thank you. I got plenty of.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about fake Mike.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Relax.
You know what's good is that strain that Joe's been smoking. You can literally say dog and he'll start laughing.
I got 5 of them right now, bro.
Hey, Joe. Joe. Yo. Remember when me and you were in the shower that one night?
Which time?
Which time? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did a live stream while I was in the shower. Don't worry.
Yeah, a few of them.
So what do you got planned in the like pipeline there? Fake Mike Real News.
Well, I got quite a bit. I'm actually wrapping up I had like 4 cases over my head. I got and you didn't know it. Yeah, I know this guy Andrew's always been hitting me up about Leighton, that corrupt bitch, that corrupt cocaine selling family over there. I know. I tried. I did my best. We got her on camera one time, but and she's crazy. She looks like the Wish version of Sarah Palin. And yeah, it's crazy how these people get away with all that stuff. But yeah, thank you for that information that you guys continually send to me. And so if anybody's in Indiana, go ahead and look into the Leighton family. And Andrew will definitely tell you all about them for sure. But yeah, as far as my content, I'm kind of switching my content over a little bit too. You know, I'm still going to come out with audits and stuff like that. But I'm creating new channels and I'm kind of taking like a somewhat different approach on certain things too. So I'm going to make a few new channels, right? So I got a Man on the Street channel that I started filming. I got a parody channel coming out. I got like a geography channel coming out. I got a new audit channel coming out. And I got one more channel coming out called the White Kevin Samuels. So stay tuned for that.
Write those guys down, guys. Do you ever get out with Auditing America anymore?
So actually, I'm gonna James Madison's question. Thank you for that question, by the way, James Madison. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna do a big video about that tomorrow. I've no longer worked with Auditing America, and
run, Forrest, run.
We were never together. I mean,
this is heavy. My man said we were never together. Stop it.
Those are the best comments, though. Whenever you audit,
Slash, I have to set the record straight. James Madison bit my rhymes. I was the first shower live taker.
Oh, were you?
You beat Nate to it. I'm sure Nate got a few.
Oh, were you? Biting my rhymes. I called it the Ferris Bueller. You were like, oh, let me do that every time now.
Bueller.
Bueller.
Oh shit, he dropped out.
Yeah, now, Auditing America is the one that ran away from the guy that was in the post office. And
yeah, he
called
did.
the cops
in Florida.
Oh my god!
You can't do that. You know, and you know what's you would never set foot on the field making a video about him doing
that. He's in Alaska now. I saw him in Alaska.
Did he leave? Did real Mike or fake Mike Real News leave?
Yeah, it was to say something. I hope he comes back. Maybe he had a connection issue.
I hope so.
Yeah, he probably dropped.
I didn't realize who it was until I opened my eyes. I guess I'm over here. I'm trying to issue an SSL certificate to my website because it's all jacked up right now.
Yo, Will, come on back up if you're watching.
Rogue, you still in here? He's here.
So I got somebody in the basement here. I'm not sure who this is. Let's give him a shot here. What's going on? We got you in the basement down there. You got a channel for doing audits?
Oh, I know.
I'm still here.
I know NZ.
What's up, Kiwi?
Gentlemen,
Who?
G'day, mate.
gentlemen, hello. Thank you, Erie County. The reason you don't recognise me is my sister popped up. She hates my beard. So every year I shave it. That's why you don't recognise me.
Never shave your beard.
All I
she's
heard
my
was I only see my sister once a year. That's all I heard you say.
Yeah, I shave my beard once a year because my sister is the only one that hates it. I can't go out for dinner if I have a beard. Thank you, gentlemen, from me in New Zealand. I watch all your channels.
My man.
I appreciate it. I love Chuck Bronson's drive around.
Yeah. That's the man. That's the
He's a
mentor.
top watcher. I also love, for public safety and OMC and many, many others, that Kaiser person, why can he dox all Chris's information and take 24 hours for YouTube to take it down? That's all I wanted to say. Thank you all for your service. I actually watch and line up. It's not often I can get into lives, but I watch many of your channels. Cliff?
Thank you for your support.
Well, thanks for
I
stopping by.
appreciate you. Now, the dude with the baseball cap below Cliff.
Okay.
Right at the bottom, below third
Fake
one
Mike.
down.
Fake
I
Mike
don't
Real
know
News.
if I'm. Yeah, fake Mike. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm in or subscribe to your channel. I'm going to go. Can a moderator put up your channel, please? Well,
Yeah, I'm kind of like the redhead stepchild of this movement here, for sure. For sure.
So
Hey, Kiwi,
before
thank you,
before
man.
you got out of here, Fake Mike, you were starting to tell us about the Auditing America story. You want
Yeah,
to tell us about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get deep into that tomorrow. If you guys want to actually join me on a panel, I can. I don't know. I just got the free StreamYards, so I don't know how many I can have, but I'm gonna invite a few people on. I'm gonna have a little chat. I'm gonna tell people a few things too. But that's part of the reason I wanted to. I've been being on a lot more panels lately is because one, like I've been doing breathing exercises so I can handle watching auditing videos again, and two, there's a whole new generation of people. I mean, it's cool, like people like Rogue Nation and, you guys just like inspired so many people. And I love that you're having a huge effect to auditing Erie County, man. And we're going to talk off air one time about how you guys find some of these lawyers, bro, because I've been calling lawyers up and down. And these guys, oh my god. But
I'm gonna tell you the first thing about being able to hold a lawyer as an auditor is you had got to stay professional. If you go out there and start cursing people out, then the lawyers that don't want to take on this shit in the first place, they certainly ain't taking you on if you're not professional. Blowing shit off the handle. My attorneys, I've known my one attorney since I was 16 years old. We have a great relationship. He turns me on to different people, but I don't think people should be auditing if you don't have a lawyer you can trust, because a public defender is going to get you prison. It's not a good fit. I mean, I do think I am very lucky to be able to have attorneys that will work with the channel and they love the channel. As a matter of fact, my attorney who is working with me on the Lockport thing literally said, if they put you in jail, I'm going to start a First Amendment audit channel. I'm like, so I mean,
Ari, let me back you up a little bit.
You have a good effect on keeping a lawyer.
Let me back you up a little bit, Ari. You said, hold on, excuse me, right? You said that you don't think a motherfucker should audit unless they have a lawyer. I don't want motherfuckers out there thinking that I got to get a lawyer before I go out there and audit, man. Personally, I think that's bad advice. Everybody's entitled. Most motherfuckers who out there fighting, they can't afford a lawyer, and they wouldn't be on them streets if they followed that advice, in my opinion.
Mike Real News has sifted through all the conspiracy theories and found the valid ones, and he'll tell you the ones that you need to listen to. That's what I got to say about Will Turbot there.
Yeah, he's a good conspiratorialist. I'm high. I don't know how to say the word.
I mean, I don't personally. I mean, like, if you want to go out audit without an attorney on the ready, I mean, without having an attorney, I mean, you're gambling with your freedom.
At all times you are. At all times you are, and you are correct. You're absolutely gambling with your freedom. That's what freedom fighters do. All of us up here take a risk. No sane motherfucker does this dumb shit.
I like your logo, AZ Unfiltered.
What's up, AZ? I forgot you was up there.
Picture the Nicolas Cage from Raising Arizona. That's great.
But what were you saying before I interrupted you, Mike? Fake Mike Real News.
Yeah, no. That just I'm really appreciative for all you guys. I really am, because Rights Christie is bringing up conspiracies, but I mean, quite frankly, I've been an activist for damn near 20 years now, and the auditing community, people are like, oh, because trust me, I'm in both worlds, right? And people are like, oh, I get shit from the truth community. People are like, oh, all you do is go to post offices. You're not doing anything. But yo, let me tell you, bro, the auditing community has affected more change in the last 3 to 5 years than any other community that I can think of, besides like a governmental organization. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys. Thank you for allowing me to come on your stream the other day, Rogue. And I like I said, I admire all you guys' work, and I'm looking forward to getting back to being part of the community. Because my thing is, not only have we had such effect, when I say we, I mean you guys, really, but as a community had such an effect. But I can only see us having, and I'm not saying we all have to join together, but I really think we should work on networking more, and kind of just amplifying each other to build this movement, because you guys are sitting on fucking gold right here. You guys are doing such amazing work, and like even normal people are like, hey, did you know about James Madison audits? Like, oh, you ever heard Rogue Nation? Like literally.
Normal people are saying, why do you need my ID? I haven't broken the law. What is your RAS? Normal people know these things. Police ain't taught them. School ain't taught them.
And I'm glad you brought up the truther community. That's another community, like I was saying, that you have done a lot of great activism too, since since we both started around the same time, right? But before that, you probably did more stuff without a camera, and I believe that. But the truther community, we draw so many parallels, and it is important to bring people into this and show them how they can exercise their rights too. It's not just talking about what they've found, but acting on it.
One thing I just
that's becoming more and more mainstream. That's for sure.
Exactly. And my thing is this, right? Like, we don't have to all agree with each other, But then again, the board of the Federal Reserve, the Bilderberg Group, they don't all agree with each other, but they meet every single year, multiple times, to plan our future. So I want to be able to network and meet with you guys and I'm here to do whatever I can for you guys to help grow this movement. So anytime you guys say, hey, Will, I don't get a ton of subs, but hey, Will, cover this video. Hey, Will, share this video. Anything that you guys need from me. By the way, I got a huge team behind the scenes. If you guys need websites, I got a whole bunch of other things, digital marketing, anything you guys can think of, just message me. It's Fake Mike Real News on all platforms. Will Turbid everywhere. And even if I can't personally do it, I know somebody that will do it. So just I'm here, I'm back, and I'm at your service, guys.
Where are you?
I know his team. When I'm in Chicago, I be on there. I forget that whatever the thing we be on when we communicate over Nix and shit. But your guys who you're talking about, all of them got their own servers and 5 different sites. They help 12 different auditors that you know of.
A whole bunch of cool shit. So yeah, guys, please do not hesitate, man. I want to feel like I'm helping here. So you guys, please get in touch with me.
Shout out to No Name Coder also. No Name Coder has built a database of facial recognition of cops.
Awesome.
I didn't know that. I see No Name Coder all the time.
He's awesome, amazing. And you guys should definitely try to support that project too, because what he's doing is for the benefit of our whole community. Great work.
On that,
this is cool.
Thanks for having me.
Auditing Erie County Saturday Night Live is definitely here to network. It's here to bring us all together. The last Saturday Night Live we had East Coast and West Coast auditors on here, and we're all trying to get along and to build this community and network together, because stronger together, and
we had them New York cats on here, man. That's going on right now. Brooklyn been into it with some of them other cats, man. That we could have took an opportunity to rap with them about that. Already rap with Eli. He's taking the leadership. If you guys know what's going on over there, Eli is trying to calm some of the drama, but perhaps us as elder statesmen, pay a little attention.
Elder here, old man. Hey,
I just mean we've been in it longer. That's all I
mean. Thank you, man, for having me on. Thanks for everybody watching right now and in the future. Later, y'all.
Love you.
Later, right?
Big Mike, James Madison, Joe.
Yo, see you later.
So that's what I was talking about. You guys ought to have a convention, right? Like a constitutional rights convention. And for public safety mention, right, these panels right here are kind of like a convention. So I really do appreciate you, AEC, for doing this. And you're going to do it every Saturday night?
I mean, I got it going for every other Saturday night, but if it gets popular enough where we can start networking, I mean, there's other people. Like, I'd like some Clux News on here. I tried reaching out to him. If anybody knows him, send him in. I'd like to get Tyrant Terminator up here. There's a lot of people I'd love to see up here. The more we get up here, the more we can communicate together, the better off.
Area, a good thing y'all got going right now is this particular group. You guys hit laws and tactics and shit. Where other people have other shits, that would be you guys' niche, man. You come over here and you guys you know what the fuck you talk about, like the information James was giving us and you guys was giving us when we first started. You guys do that shit. A lot of other panels, we goof around and shit.
I don't mind a little goofing around because it makes fun, of course. Like when James Freeman comes on, and next thing you know, half the panel's shirtless. I mean, that's fun, all fun and games. But at the same time, I think there's a difference between accountability auditors and entertaining auditors. I mean, there's some of these guys out there just out there to make videos. They don't do no follow up. They don't follow.
Very good.
They're not teaching the people how to do it properly, how to pull an audit trail, how to get that body camera, how to sue them for the shit when they say no, you can't have that. Like, well, at the end of the day, these places don't have the authority to say you can't get that. The judge is going to have a ruling at the end of the day on public records. And I think we did a panel way back almost a year ago about public records laws in all 50 states. And we just went through like what the names were of each one, because like here in New York, it's FOIL. In Massachusetts, it's FOIA. And in Florida, it's Sunshine Law. And there's all these different names for these things. And just to educate people.
In Utah, it's grandma. Different names.
Well,
Yeah,
hell,
I mean,
some
I
names you
don't know how
can't
many
even
times people are
barely
like,
get
it's
public
FOIA,
records.
not foil. I'm like, well,
Every time you say foil, I'm like, it's so frustrating to me.
it's freedom of information
All I can think of
law
is the people
in
outside
New
on the
York.
corner smoking.
I mean, there's so many. All the states have a little bit of different name about it, but
Hey, Will, I got one of them truther panels I need to be on. I don't know if you know Flow State and those guys, man, but I had a meeting over there. Area's been great. James, right with you late. AC, good to see you again. You catch me easy, Will. I'm sure we'll be in touch when I'm back in Chicago, man.
Sounds
Later.
good. All right.
Rose, you were in the basement, but for some reason your I don't know if your mic or camera ain't hooked up, but I couldn't even bring you up for some reason. I seen you in the chat saying we're ignoring you, but I couldn't bring you up. I don't know if you want to try again. But AZ Unfiltered, what you got going on down there?
I actually got a video I'm about to drop, but it's not even in the States. It's in New Zealand. I ran across something. It's about a year old, but it was wild. These cops are pulling some old school techniques, dressing up as homeless and stuff to catch people doing whatever in their cars at stoplights. It's pretty cool, but I haven't been as active on the street as much lately. Just between being busy with my regular job and then car problems, that's one thing people don't talk about when you're cop watching, versus auditing. You beat the tar out of a car in a year. I mean, you could have a car that low mileage, and after 1 year driving that thing around cop watching for 3 or 4 days a night, a full tank of gas every night you're out, it puts a toll on your car.
I got a 180 on my 17 Silverado.
Yeah, take that out 3 nights a week and run a full tank through it, and flipping U-turns, flooring it, trying to catch up to driving like the cops to the calls. It's wild, man. And I bought a car to do that specifically with a group of people, but as recent events with some of the people here in Arizona have moved and everything, so we're not as close as we used to be out here. So most of us are on our own again instead of rolling as a group like we used to.
And you guys got any other auditors you want to invite them up, give them a text, get them in here. But we got any questions from the audience? Anybody in the chat want to throw a question out and we can see if we can do some answering? I know I'm not sure where Long Island Audit is, but he wanted to get an opinion on what we all thought about Attorney Shield. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
With what I heard from the announcement with Lackluster, with what he provided in the video, the amount of what they do seems to be way better than for a while there. About a year ago, I think there was it Legal Shield was approaching everybody, trying to
That's
get
a
that
pyramid scheme.
Yeah, trying to sponsor everybody, and it was just.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's like that. What do they call it? Multi-marketing MLMs. I don't say pyramid scheme. I should correct it, but it's something like multi-level marketing where you get someone under you and you make money. But in the end, there's really not much going on because a few people were talking about how they said they tried to get legal help, but they couldn't or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this seems like everything that wanted to appear to be as it is. So I'm hoping that it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I signed up for it. I did sign up for it, so I got in early. Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be everything they said it was too.
I mean, the fact that you can't shut it off without a passcode is probably one of the best things I've seen. So here in New York, foiling 911 calls is something that the only way you can get past it is doing an Article 78 and get a judge to subpoena it out. I foil them anyways. Some departments will just give it up, and most departments just want to deny it because they just don't like transparency. Honestly, the only way we're going to get around that in New York is hitting up the legislation and trying to get rid of that law. I mean, there's a law that says unless you get a subpoena, you can't have these 911 calls. I don't know why they can't redact the important information and send them out, but like I know when someone called the cops on me in Orchard Park, New York, gave that phone call up. But yeah, the only way to get a 911 call here in New York is to do a subpoena for Article 78 and petition that through the courts.
How dumb
Oh,
is
that's
New York?
ridiculous.
I mean, how
It
dumb
is
is New
pretty
York?
stupid. We pay for them services.
If they did this correctly, it's all money in their pocket. They charge for this crap no matter what state you're in that you're getting your public records. They charge you for it. So I don't know why they're not just charging people for this garbage and making money off of it. You know, I mean, that seems like a money loss for them and just. But then again, I guess that maybe there's enough dirty shit going on in New York that they're like, hey, we probably should release all this stuff.
I'm going to tell you what I think about Audit Them. I think Audit Them is one of the most underrated auditors out there. He knows his shit. And for someone who is as good as he is, I don't know if he's just too dry, that the people don't like him or people won't watch him, but I enjoy watching Audit Them. Audit Them does good content, but I don't know why he doesn't take off. I mean, I'm not for one to tell anybody to go out and start making citizens arrests like he talked about, on the one panel I seen him on, but I think Audit Them's great. I don't really understand why he doesn't have more subscribers and more views on videos other than, I mean, like in order to hit it big out here, you got to put out good content and you have to be very likable of a person because, not everybody has a lot of time in their day. They can't watch every video and so people pick and choose on which ones they're going to be watching. But I don't know why Audit Them don't have more stuff on. So what do you guys think?
Well, as a member of Audit Them, I've been watching his videos, and it's a niche. He's just doing public records requests, making sure that they've got all the public records posted for everybody to see. That so it's just a one dimensional thing right now. But I think he's going to be moving into other dimensions after he gets, all of this part done. He's going to be going back and doing different things as well. So I like his videos too, and I think he's got a cool personality. I like his accent, and I think he's doing good work, and I think it's meaningful work too. So I think it will end up making some changes in the areas that he's at least going into, and maybe if some other people pick up a camera and do the same things, I think it's really in the future going to affect change. What do you think?
I mean, the best way for an auditor to have an effect is to get a lot of views and people to get people to redress. I mean, that's really the only way. I mean, if the people watch it and they get pissed off enough and make the phone calls, it's the only thing that's going to change things. So I like what he's doing.
What's up, everybody?
I do too. I think he's got a lot going for him. But what's up, FPS?
How you doing, Rogue?
What I wanted to say is that I think more people want to see them going out and getting
you're roboting out on us.
Am I going in and out?
Yeah.
That's that deep south internet for you.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's the Two Hillbilly Network. They're stringing cans to houses, cans on strings.
You got to lick a finger and put another hand in the air.
Because we can hear you better now anyway. So go ahead, Rogue.
Okay, so basically, I think he just needs to Can you hear me now? God damn it.
Yeah.
I hear you now.
Okay. Okay, I hear you now. Okay, so yeah, I just think he needs to show more end results and more end results that like the people want to see. Like when we're doing these public record requests, of course we're testing the system first and foremost, but we should be pulling records that are going to help us expose something, right? And I think that's what he's been missing for quite a while is the exposing part at the end of the process. And I think once he capitalizes on that, I think he's going to skyrocket, and I don't think there'll be any slowing him down. So, and it's a process. He has to refine his process, just like I've had to, and I'm still refining the process on my credit card record requests, so that way I could get the most done in the least amount of time with the least aggravation, and then have something come at the end of it. So, but all in all, he's a terrific guy, and like you said, he does great work. He knows his stuff. He's exactly the kind of guy we need on the street, doing this stuff. We need 50 auditums in 50 states, and the same with all of us. We need multiple clones of each of us in different parts of the country to help out. And if not, we need people just like us that are tired and said, you know what, there's nothing more important than making sure my child's future is secure. So regardless if I have to get a job working for little money in order to do this, and not have the 80-inch screen TV and not sip Don Perignon every night, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like the lawyer who doesn't go to the big corporate law firm and instead stays at the local clinic because he wants to help people. He's not interested about making the $500,000 a year. He'll do fine on the $50,000 a year because his passion is helping the people. So when we get people in every state doing this, because it's taxing, I mean, Florida, we got it good. We've got a lot of people down here. I mean, hell, I don't even have to go over to Volusia County. James is over there slapping them around for me. I don't even, you know what I mean? And then you got Jeff Gray up in the Northeast, and you got Big Nick and Acura Amanda down in the Southeast, and, Joey and OGI in the Southwest. And so a lot of these places I don't even have to go. When people call me up, say, oh, man, there's a problem down here in Miami or, Fort Lauderdale, I said, give Big Nick a call or give Acura Amanda a call. But when somebody calls me up and says, oh, man, I'm in Mississippi, I'm like, oh, shit, I got to drive 8 hours now.
And you going to jail.
There's nobody I can call. Or, oh, shit, I'm in Birmingham. Well, there ain't nobody up there, buddy.
Well, I think
going to jail. Yeah, I got to drive 8 hours and I'm going to jail now. Damn it.
I think if you watch what I do here with my channel, because I think we're pretty much, Tiffany and I are kind of the lone auditors in the area. You'll see that it doesn't matter how much you return and follow up. It's so corrupt that it's just going to keep on going and going and going and going just for one person in one teeny tiny little region. So it really, I mean, we have to expand this community for the sake of the nation, for the sake of the Constitution, for the sake of our freedom and rights. It has to expand. This is the beginning. We're waking up. This community is the beginning, but it is in its infant state, and it has to be, because if it's not, we're losing everything. And it's happening right underneath everybody's noses. But sometimes, I heard you say the end result, Ro, and what I've learned is that sometimes it very well may be the end result is just the exposure, because we're depending on another law enforcement agency of a different type to come in and take it over once you get it completely busted wide open. I mean, I caught an agency racketeering, laundering money, stealing cars, dealing drugs. Beating people up and false charges being filed so that they could get clout for a television show. I turned it all over with complete proof, and all they chose to do was the ghost employment and the racketeering. And they have the proof for the rest of it. Yet there are still multiple officers that have been allowed to just resign from one agency and move over, and they even let the current sheriff, who was part of it, pretend that he turned it all in the first place. So sometimes the only thing you're really going to get out of it in the end is just simply the exposure that you put out there, which is awareness for the people who live in the area, and they have got to pick up that string and take off with it from there. It takes more than just us.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean that's what
right, and
part
I
of
think it
the
takes
networking
I
and
think it takes
getting
people
more
doing
people
a whole.
going. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Rob.
absolutely. I think everybody has a part to play. We don't just need cameras on the street. I mean, a couple people could cover a state, easily. So it's not the cameras really, that we're too far back behind. It's all the back end work. It's the sharing. It's the you know people need to be as passionate about sharing and advertising this stuff as they are as watching it. If you spend 5 hours a day watching First Amendment audits, try putting an hour or two into sharing it on platforms that you're involved with. Try talking about it whenever you go out in public with some people or whenever you're interacting with people, just and just broach the subject with them, oh man, these guys, they're really terrible around here. Did you see that video the other day on James Madison Audit's channel? It was crazy, just with your coworkers. I mean, hell, I never miss an opportunity when I'm out and about to tell people about my channel, right? And to tell people, hey, if you think the government's corrupt and you want to help make change, come on over to my channel, show me some love. You know what I mean? It doesn't cost you anything to watch my videos. And, so
Another thing that I want to add in here to back you up,
that right
Rogue.
there, I think, is the
If you wouldn't mind, let me throw this in there right there where he's at. Just want to back him up a little bit and say, also, I mean, I know a lot of people know how to do this, but some might not have learned this yet. But when you watch a video that involves an agency, if you are on a different social media platform and that agency has social media, which they almost always do, typically cops have Facebook, for example, post the video link on their Facebooks. That makes a difference because that gets exposure to the voters, in my opinion. All right, back to you, Rogue.
right.
Sorry, buddy.
Absolutely. Right. No, you're fine, buddy. That's excellent. And I think that's where the bottleneck is, right? We got, auditors where everybody's putting out videos. There's a lot of content coming out every week, but the bottleneck is not enough people seeing it, right? So, I mean, we got 330 million people in the United States, and we've got maybe 10 to 20 auditors over 100,000 subs. You know what I mean? With LIA being at the top now with a little over 500,000. I mean, he should have it. If that bottleneck wasn't there, he could and should be up to 5 million. We should be up, me, James, Dan, Chris, we should be up to 1 million people watching our stuff. That's not even, not even 1% of the population. I mean, so that's where the bottleneck really is getting the support from the people to push it out there. And again, a lot of that is the same reason why Audit Them doesn't get a lot of views and why a lot of public record request videos or whatever doesn't get a lot of views, because it's not sexy, right? People want entertainment. So of my 100,000 subs, You know, there might be 40,000 that really want change and 60,000 that just want to watch a cop get put in his place and do the walk of shame and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it depends on how important you think this stuff is, you know, like of course, a lot of trolls will just say we're in it for the clicks and views because they can't understand the passion behind wanting to be free, right? Because they already, in their mind, they already think they are free, which again is just a byproduct of a shitty schooling system that we have. But you know, so they're not worried about freedom. You know, they're telling us, oh, what rights are they taking away, and what rights are they, you know, we losing, and you know, the bottom line is when when the government steps to you and tells you step lively, boy, or you're going to jail, your ass is stepping lively.
Most of the
That's not
trolls
freedom.
are actually people who
You know,
benefit
when the
from a
state
family
can come
member.
in and take anything it wants from you.
Most of the trolls are actually people that are like benefiting from having a
of
family
course.
member or somebody like, you know, close to them, or they're actually affiliated themselves with the government. So they're getting theirs, they're getting their protection, they're getting their freedom, you know, because they can make a phone call to their family member and say, oh shit, man, I ran a stop sign and now, you know, I need you to come clean it up for me. And that person's glad to go and fix the ticket on out of the system through their connections, because the system has literally gotten so corrupt that falsification of court documents is not even hard for most places anymore at all. They get away with it. Nobody's babysitting them.
Well, and here's the thing, and 65% of the American people either work for the government in some capacity or have relatives that work for the government in some capacity.
There you go.
It's and that's why you've got so many people thinking that the government is just great, is because they do benefit from it. You're right about that.
And they know that they're not perfectly fine. Like they know they can get in trouble too, but they think in their heads, they think that this person that I know or that I'm related to can get me out of anything. And usually that's where their behavior ends up being more criminal than most.
I just want to say one thing about trolls, and that's nothing. I don't like mentioning about trolls. I don't like acknowledging they exist. If they do my videos, I don't want to know. I don't care. And I think every time we talk about them, we're only advertising for them. I think that mentioning trolls, talking about trolls, nothing. I think we all need to ignore them. And, you know, I mean, they got a right to do what they do, I guess, but I don't mention any of their names on my channel. I don't talk about the troll channels. Certainly don't link videos and I'm not saying anything about nobody here, but I'm just saying, I think that the best way to deal with them is to ignore them.
Well, I'll share this with you guys. I don't know how many of y'all know, but I've got a guy that calls himself a troll. I don't even think he's actually a troll. I think he's just a crazed fan with a mental issue and obsession. And he has been stalking me personally and Tiffany for probably 6 months now. And he's made it a point to learn our address, our phone numbers, our you know, like where we're at during the day. He's got people that he's calling like family members and stuff that we don't talk to or like. Tiffany's ex-husband, you know, like this person has literally just made it his life goal to completely be obsessed and harass us. And because it's over the internet, it's really a difficult case for like a criminal case for anybody to tackle. And a lot of law enforcement agencies just quite simply don't understand, you know, the cyber laws and stuff. And in that, yesterday, the idiot was able to get one of the worst government officials that we've ever encountered in our lives to assist him in getting a record unredacted from the clerk, which had my social security number, my full name.
I watched that video because I seen you talk about it. I think if you never said social security number and all this stuff, I don't think people would have known what those numbers were. I mean, you're only advertising this stuff.
No way, man. No way. I was on a stand and the prosecutor said,
when I watched that, The only way that I know the numbers that they spit out were anything of any importance, you reread the numbers. The only way I even knew what those numbers were is because you're telling people what those numbers were.
What are you talking about? I was on the stand, Dan, and the prosecutor's court. It was a video of me in court, and the
He made
prosecutor
you
said,
recite some numbers and said, "Do those numbers look about right?" And you said,
"What?"
"Yeah."
No. He said,
I
"What's
didn't
your
see you do it.
social?" I read it out. He said, "What's your driver's license number?" I read it out. He said, "What's your full name?" I read it out and spelled it. I'm talking to the prosecutor, and then the idiot got a copy of the recording for the court, unredacted, and that's what he published.
My point is, you advertised it more than he could ever have. You had a bigger platform. You got to ignore that stuff.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I needed it
in the
taken down, buddy.
In the background, to do privacy complaint about someone putting out your social security numbers, that's one thing. But to advertise to these guys is, I think you probably sent more people to that video.
Yeah, and we got it taken down. And YouTube was telling me it was going to be 48 hours. So within an hour, I got it removed, and it wouldn't have happened without the help of our subscribers. So thanks for everyone who helped and got rid of that, because it did get taken down a hell of a lot faster than 48 hours. So we actually called our lawyer about filing a lawsuit on YouTube as well.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
Definitely marked that for harassment on that video. But here's what we got to understand with all this stuff now. Okay, we're a bunch of good-looking mofos, right? So it's only natural
That's
that
why your
being on
camera's off.
YouTube, these guys and girls are going to be obsessed with us. You know
It's
what
Tiffany
I mean?
they like on my end.
Damn,
Shit, look at
that's
that
on
living
YouTube.
There
room.
he is.
Oh,
Look at
he's
that
so
living
pretty.
room. You can't
You
get
are
internet
very
in that
pretty,
house.
He's lying. He's in a chicken coop right now.
My camera was off, James. So maybe you get a couple more emails.
I appreciate that.
No,
Thank
but
you.
I think at the end of this, with what everybody's saying, it's definitely about communicating. It's about helping each other out. And when there's an issue in the community, legally, having people to reach out. Was that 8 inches? I didn't know your nose was that long, dude. That's a long nose, bro. And it's brown at the tip. What is that about?
So we got this next question on the board of question: are you guys ever afraid or concerned of your well-being during a video shoot? And the only time that I ever questioned my safety, and generally speaking, no, I'm not really scared to go out and do what I do, because I tend to keep it professional, and I tend to walk that line where I don't feel that I'm getting that in much trouble. But the one time that I went somewhere, I did an audit, and then ended up coming back and doing a little research about it, and it was the Erie, Pennsylvania Police Department. They threw me in handcuffs, threw me in a jail cell, and then later on I went ahead and did some research about what they did and how they handle people around there, and it was like, damn, I was in a dangerous freaking place, and I could have got fucked up by these guys, and they wouldn't have gave a shit, and nobody would have cared. And it's the kind of department that, like, not a lawyer would take up the case unless you were seriously injured. So, like, I feel like I was grateful to get out of there without nothing more than some scars on my wrist from handcuffs. I still have the scars from the Erie, Pennsylvania Police Department. But that's the only time I ever thought, man, I was in a dangerous place.
I found one of them a few weeks ago too. That Meade County, Kentucky one was dangerous. It is dangerous.
But then you hear about that one auditor, I think it was on Rogue's channel, or someone who ended up going to jail, and they fucked them up in jail. That was crazy. You never know when that could happen.
That was in Kentucky, wasn't it, Rogue?
Yeah. Yes, sir, it was. And I feel apprehension when I go out because of the fact that I know what these guys are capable of, and I know what these guys can get away with. with no issues whatsoever. You know what I mean? It'd be nothing for them, especially without body cams. But even with body cams, they could lose them. But it's no big deal for them to shoot somebody, throw a gun in their hand, and call it a day. You know what I mean? So there's apprehension whenever I'm around psychopaths. So, but it is what it is. It's part of the job. Just like when you're a cab driver, you get a high percentage chance that you might get robbed, you might get shot. I mean, everything you do, there's a percentage that something bad's going to happen. You know what I mean? If you jump out of a plane enough times, there's a percentage that your chute's not going to open. Or if you, just whatever you do. If you cross the street 50 million times, there's a chance that you're going to get hit by a truck. So there's always a chance. But of course, your chances go up exponentially when you're interacting with psychopaths every single day. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like, I guess you could say, going into prisons every day, right? Because, there's psychopaths in prisons.
You never know what you're going to get when you're dealing with these highly unstable people we call law enforcement. That's for sure, as public safety had to say.
Yeah, that's
public service.
Exactly.
This is
How come he don't
James
come
will
up
tell
here?
you.
He said he's
we
driving.
did a video up in Nassau County, and we did a video up in Nassau County, which is the top northeast county of Florida. And there was ladies inside, but they were fine with us. They didn't have no issues. And then this cop comes in, dude, and I swear this guy was on roids, man, because he went immediately to raging. And I thought for sure that James might get a tasing or get shot the way this guy was acting. Like, it was just so out of control. And I even named the video Roid Rage Cop.
Which one was this?
Goes crazy. And come to find out, James, wasn't it true? Remember that guy came in and he was all like, blah, blah, blah. And the lady's like, no, they're okay. And he's like, get out here now.
Nassau County. That was, Nassau County.
You all remember that? Up in Nassau County, it was a couple years ago.
He got put in the court systems.
Yeah. Did we find out later that that guy ended up killing somebody or had killed somebody?
His brother, I think his brother.
So.
A shooting or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's just no telling. Yeah, remember he drove across the street to see his boyfriend at the jail. We were laughing at him. But
can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I got to bounce off here, guys. I want to thank everybody for having me up.
Hey, Rogue Nation, before you leave, hey.
He's got shit internet, so it'll get to him in a second.
Hey. Who is that?
Let's see who we got here. Miss Rams.
Oh, okay, I see.
Rummy.
I
It's
see.
Rummy. Say it right.
Listen, I'm stealing James Madison's Wi-Fi in his driveway.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Then why is his working so good compared to yours?
Because he's in the driveway. I'm in my house.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should give him one of them 4-inch ho-hos.
Nice and tasty. I got a whole box of these in there.
There you go, Rob. Come in out the driveway.
He's got tinfoil. Dude, he's got tinfoil on his windows.
No, I don't.
Lord.
I got blackout curtains. That's it.
Anyway, I didn't want to hold you up, Rogue. I just wanted to say hey before you left. But I love you, and tell the wifey and everybody I said hello.
Well,
but I love your work.
Thank
you. You stay safe.
I will.
All right. But
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Erie County, sir.
That sounds like Meemaw getting ready to hit you with a switch.
Hey, I can do it, baby. I can do it, but I ain't old enough to be his Meemaw. Maybe so. But anyway, you are doing the damn thing. I want to let you know, and you have my utmost respect. because I like the way you stay calm. I like the way you put these people in their place without raising your voice. And like you said before, you have to be professional, even when they like to lose their shit and act anything but professional. And that's what they're being paid for. And, you hold your tongue. I like that, and it's very important.
I
And
don't hold my tongue.
well, I know you don't, honey.
That's
But
actually one of the things I was most surprised about is how the videos that James Madison Audits puts out are real professional, real calm. And then I went auditing with him a few times, and I think we were in Texas together, and I was like, the dude will go off the handle. He'll let him know, and I was like, wow, I didn't
As soon as
expect
someone
that out of him.
violates my rights, I'm done. I'm done with you.
right, but James has got this sarcasm about him that it just hits you from left field, and you're like, oh, what the fuck just happened?
Here's what
This
is funny. Let's see if I have it here. There's Flagler County is getting they're getting a full-on audit training or First Amendment training here, and someone sent me a message and they're like, oh, I'm so tired of you, or not tired of me. He's a friend. He sent me a message and said F you, I have to go through this 4-hour class now because thanks a lot.
Poor baby.
I know. I was laughing.
Poor baby's got to learn the law.
That was funny. The other day, I went to a checkpoint where somebody called it in and called me up, and they're like, "Yo, there's a checkpoint in Hamburg." I went down there. Was all the cadets learning how to be little Nazis, and pull cars over. I walk up on them, and the instructor's like, "Everybody, we got Dan Warmus over here. Everybody, say hi." All the cadets turn around,
and they all
at me
turned around
go,
and said,
"Hi, Dan." It's the internet classic forever. But I've heard they use my videos in their training around here. I've yet to be able to foil it, but
that's what I tried. But let me see if I find that video. I sent a video back to these guys. It's hard to see, but let me pull it up.
Rose, you're in the basement. It says device does not connect. I cannot bring you up. I don't even have an option.
So I sent this to the guys in Flagler. I said, pass this around.
This space right here, this is the space that has you sitting in a 4-hour mandatory class. Once you get that class done, I'm going to find you, I'm going to test you, I'm going to figure out the circumference of your asshole and see how you behave.
How are you going to measure it, though, is what I want to know. Or maybe I don't.
With this camera, obviously.
What do you think I got this tape measure here?
How big is a typical lens?
A lens?
So, Dan, I have a question for
somewhere.
About rectum size?
Get your old diaphragm from a health department. So, there you go. Go to when you go with Rogue Nation to a health department. Ask them if they have an old diaphragm, and use that for your tester size.
Well,
there you go.
Nice
Anyway.
and tight little
Wear a T-shirt that says rectal examiner.
Yeah. Please start carrying y'all some latex gloves in your pockets.
I actually want to get myself a pair of hands-on gloves, like the cops show up in when they show up with their
God,
gloves
that'd be
on.
great.
I want to pull them out of my back pocket and be like, "Oh, are we gloving up?"
Yes, sir.
They're just a pair of latex gloves. You can buy them in the pharmacy. They're really cheap. They're super duper cheap. And put them in a little plastic baggie. Make it all official like pull out your little plastic baggie and pull you out a pair, and out of your little side pocket. Yeah.
Can you
I had
put
a-
YouTube on. I think we got an echo coming for you, Miss Rami.
I had a Jerseyville City sergeant come at me. He had his very own motorcycle gloves for the arrests.
It's our guy 936.
Our guy, you gotta turn off your
Is
YouTube.
it?
We're getting an echo from you. Turn your volume down on that.
I'm on headphones and I only have y'all open on my phone.
Check 1 2 3.
4 5 6.
Yeah, it was
7 8.
tighten up. His was lighting up when I think.
1, 2, 3.
Our guy, mute your mic for a second. Now his mic's
One-
muted. See?
1, 2, 3.
Busted, our guy.
You're good.
We
See,
found
it's
our
not
guy.
me. 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6.
So, Dan, is it against your nature to be professional and calm and cool, or is that who you really are? I think it is who you are, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty calm and professional, but like just like anybody else, I mean, you push the wrong buttons, the wild man's coming out. I mean,
No, man.
I've
no.
never
He's
seen
low-
it yet.
low testosterone.
Probably because you can't.
They try to find your boundaries. You know, the ones that are really bad that want you out of there because they're doing something dirty. They push until they find the thing that upsets you the most. You know, for me, obviously they've all figured it out. It's putting hands on Tiffany, you know, or
Hi.
talking about her being a mother in a negative way, which we do pretty good about not letting them use that as a tactic or a tool. But when they put hands on, for them, it's too late. That's when they got to put cuffs on too, and they do it.
yeah, you got to leave your emotions out of it for the most part, and then sometimes it's hard. I mean, I've lost my temper on an audit that got me in trouble with the probation department when Yorkshire, they moved the doors back and they really pissed me off, and he started heckling the guy
Oh,
about
yeah.
making chickens gotten rid of, and I called the guy, sweeper boy, and I called him a little rat, and his wife is the supervisor, she appoints him to different positions, and it all looks dirty, and I called as like, I asked, where's your piece of crap wife, and the judge did not like that. He said it was borderline harassment, so somebody could make the case. But I mean, I think calling a supervisor a piece of crap is constitutionally protected speech,
Yep.
by all means. But if you want to spend $15,000 to defend that factor, that's what it comes down to sometimes.
You know what actually helps me, believe it or not, is thinking ahead that I'm going to need to edit it for YouTube, and I don't want to have to do a lot of cutting and muting. I just try to keep the composure the same as I expect for the public to see it. So I guess it's kind of the same thing as in your regular life. You behave in the way you want to be perceived. So
Yeah, my wife tells me to stop cussing all the time, but I don't usually cuss that much on them.
yeah, in the ultimate outcome, I don't really care how I'm perceived too much, but I still think that there is an element to professionalism that's required for, if we're going to be going and doing business in these government buildings. It would be a little hypocritical of us to not have a level of professionalism. And I think, I'm also not angry with anyone who goes in just to push the boundaries to test, because I mean, as we all see by watching these videos, they don't mind doing that. So, for those people in government, they need someone on their level to check them. So, I mean, it takes all kinds, it takes all types of people, all walks of life, and there needs to be more proactive civilians.
I mean, auditing with your significant other, that's got to be a tough one, because I mean, a man sees his woman got to go hands on, and to be able to hold your composure at that point without catching a felony assault charge. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean,
Yeah, I was put in a real bad position with the Meade County guy, the chief deputy Whited, Meade County, because he obviously knew that he shouldn't be arresting me in the first place. And then he lost his temper completely because he didn't like her free speech. So when he grabbed her and started getting physical the way he did, I think it was because he knew he wanted to show his ass since I was in handcuffs and compliant. So it did put me in a bad spot, because when he got the taser to her chest, at that point, it was hard enough watching her get bruised up and thrown around. But when he put the taser right to her chest bone, I mean, I physically intervened. And, I can't talk a whole lot about it because court's coming up on the 6th, and that argument needs to be reserved for there. But I did definitely, and I have no shame in admitting that I put my body between theirs and I actively made him stop with handcuffs on. But if I didn't, Tiffany might not be with us. Who knows? I don't know what could have happened or would have happened because it thankfully didn't happen. But, he was pulling the trigger on that taser with it against her heart. And I don't know. All I know is that was excessive force and I wasn't going to just sit back and let it happen. And I might have done the same thing if it was anybody, not just Tiffany. So it being her obviously put me in a place where, of course, I'm going to protect her. I mean, who would I be if I didn't?
It's always a tough place when you got to just let the officers do what they're going to do without, striking an officer or trying to resist in any way is always just another charge. So it's always a tough position. And man,
well, I didn't get charged with anything for that. I think they knew better.
Surprising by those tyrants, boy.
Oh no,
those were some tyrants.
Yeah, they got no grounds. I mean, they know they're not even going to get the charges that they did. They're not. It's not going to work. Thankfully, we pushed hard enough, utilizing auditing after the fact, because we were only there to get my court record. Like, we weren't auditing. We were just live streaming. I was recording. I was documenting it for the channel to follow the stolen identity case that I've been going through for a year now. So we weren't auditing. I don't know if they thought we were, or if it really was just, cover up conspiracy effort because somebody had falsified documentation in that file. So I think the clerk knew it. And I think she called because we got the records. It's all going to come out, when we file a lawsuit. But they hit that panic button before there was any back and forth at all. Like, I was literally just getting copies before the lady even came up and said, stop helping him. They had already hit the panic button for the police. So that kind of exposes the bigger picture, because what other reason would they have to call police if someone was just getting a copy of a file, unless they did something dirty to that file and knew about it. So I think that's going to come out. It's amazing how corrupt these agencies really are, especially when you get into these backwoods agencies like I'm dealing with in Kentucky. I wish Rogue was still up here, because the video that he had done, the interview with the guy from Kentucky, that is the same state police jurisdiction, the same post, Kentucky State Post 4. And they're responsible for ensuring that all these smaller agencies and sheriff's departments behave or follow the law. So obviously Post 4 is lawless. I mean, they're only using the system for themselves and for money completely. Like, I know everywhere's got that problem, but that's literally all they're using it for. And then the ones that they have to do, that they're forced to do because the public would recognize that they're not. But Post 4, I mean, I did a video on the commissioner getting depositioned by my now attorney. And that commissioner is one of the dirtiest cops you've ever seen on YouTube, and he's the commissioner. And then you got all these elected officials that are in Post 4's jurisdiction. And when you call the attorney general's office and you say, hey, you got these officials that are breaking the law, they say, oh, we'll call Kentucky State Police Post 4. You call them and they say, we're not going to do nothing about it. They literally will tell you, I'm not going to do nothing about it. So, if ever there was a place where police are not needed and we'd be better off without, it would probably be this district in Kentucky. I just talked a lot.
I'll give an update on Lockport of what I have is so as far as everything went on the 30th, I was supposed to be in court for submissions of what do you call them? Motions. Submissions for motions. We put a motion to dismiss. We put a motion for change of venue. I think we put 5 different motions in, and I was supposed to have court on the 30th of November, and on the 29th, the judge from Lockport emailed by attorneys that he postponed it till the 14th. The day before court, he postponed it to the 14th. I'm not sure if he's sick or if he's possibly giving himself more time to think about whether or not he has to recuse himself or what the deal is with that. And that's the update. So the next court date is the 14th of December for motions to dismiss, and all the motions. We put in 5 different motions. And the other one, obviously, I said it in the beginning, but I'll repeat it, that I won the Article 68 for the body camera footage, but they deleted it. So they had to pay my attorney fees. They had to give up the audit trail. They had to give up a new policy that states that Lockport can't delete any footage on body cam if it's been foiled. And they had to write a letter about it. And, you know, I mean, like, that's going to help. Nothing. Obviously, it's going to help the case to say that I had no legitimate purpose there. Clearly, the judge here in Erie County. So when you do an Article 78 with in New York here, you can take them to any county court, a New York State Supreme Court that is in their judicial district. So Lockport's actually in Niagara County, and I took them to Erie County to get a better judge. Someone that's, you know, because the Niagara County judge or Niagara County courthouse is literally like, I think, like 2 blocks from Lockport City Hall. So, I mean, obviously these people know each other. They're close together. So to get a more non-biased opinion, we took it to Erie, and the judge, you know, agreed with us. So I do have a story coming up with that. And I also served a lawsuit against the city of Lockport. We're suing all 4 clerks, the lieutenant that wrote up them faulty charges. We're suing the Lockport Police Department, the town or the city of Lockport, all 4 clerks who wrote fictitious fake harassment charges and lied through it. I mean, there's videos up on that, but I will be doing another video about it soon, showing the footage of them being served and an update on everything. I was hoping that that court date would have happened so that I would have had the information to be able to give out, but that's pretty much the update as far as Lockport's going that I can give you. But there will be another video coming to update in more full detail and show some footage of everything. I did go to court on the 30th to just show up in the court because they said that I didn't have to be there. As soon as I walked through the door, the court clerk or the court security's like, "Mr. Warmus, don't you know you don't have court today?" I'm like, I think it's odd that the court security knows that who I am, number one. Number two, they know that my case was canceled that day, and I don't see how many other people's were, because the judge that was there that day wasn't my judge. It was actually a judge who he may have recused himself or because he was the original judge, but there were people there who he rescheduled to be there when the new judge is coming, and or, you know, rescheduled people that were there that day, that on the 14th, when the other judge would be back at it. But it was all odd to me. But that's
Dan,
the update on that.
Did you say that the agency that you had requested body camera footage from did not already have a policy in place for requested video to remain on retention?
I guess they didn't, but the courts did make them rewrite that policy as part
of your case.
Yeah. So,
dude, congratulations! That is a huge,
awesome job,
and they will definitely be held more accountable if they ever delete footage that somebody else body, or, you know, if they don't give out body cameras. I mean, like, that chief of police literally said that the reason he didn't give out body camera footage is because it would impede a future investigation.
Well, listen,
like,
that's
his idea inside of his head.
Dan,
is
that's real change. That's what we're talking about.
Well, the thing is that's common practice for almost all these agencies all across the United States is if the footage or any record is requested, then it goes longer on the retention schedule. So, I mean, I can't believe they didn't already have that policy. But the fact that one of the things that you ended up finding was that an agency didn't have it in place, like, it's amazing that you caught that. I know it came with a sacrifice, and I'm sorry, but the fact that you're able to make sure that that agency complies with that law that's freaking everywhere, or bylaw, I should say, you know, congratulations to you and the residents of that area, because it's huge to not be able to get a requested record because some a-hole wants to delete it so that you don't get it, because all that does is it just keeps corruption corrupt. That's how they do it. They just
brings
say,
up to the thought of what the hell did they say in the back room that they did not want us to hear.
yeah,
I mean, like
right.
I said, I think it was 34 times that video was visited on the audit trail. Like somebody watched the video 34 times.
And then they deleted it anyway, right?
And then they let it auto delete.
Yeah, they didn't keep it in the retention schedule.
But
So
to say what this the chief of police denied body camera footage because it's dry for law enforcement purposes, not for the public. Like that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And number two, that it would inhibit future law enforcement investigations. In other words, he's not giving out body camera footage because he wouldn't be able to get clerks to lie on the affidavits in the future. Like people won't lie for him if he's going to give out evidence that would show that they're liars. It's just like the judge seen right through it. I'm glad of that. But
well, what I always
they're not going to
do,
be able to get away with that anymore.
I always immediately file right away, like the soonest possible time, on any questionable, any questionable situations that I encounter. I hurry up and like I'll watch the video and I'll go, oh, yep, this thing here, I need to request that. So I'll go and get a filed records request in on it, just because, if they do delete it after that, because there is policy and bylaw for that, then at least you can utilize the civil process to kind of smack them on the wrist for it at least. So, I mean, yeah, they can get away with still deleting it because it's not quite in the criminal statute. So, I mean, they still have power over those records that they have control of, but at least don't let them get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can still follow through the civil suit stuff. Even if you're not going to win, at least you make a point of it.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a civil suit. Even if the judge somehow finds me guilty of harassment when there was no harassment, just constitutionally protected activity of video recording them, like didn't really even talk to any of these clerks. If they can find some type of harassment guilty charge on that, I mean, it'll be appealed all the way up to. We'll take it all the way up to the Supreme Court if we have to, but like, there's definitely a civil suit coming, like violating my civil rights and all that. So, yeah, we're going to hold them accountable to the fullest extent of the law, because we can't have that, especially not in my area. I consider Western New York my baby, and I'll take care of her as best I can until they either, lock me up or kill me, and I ain't stopping.
Well, I'll give you some insight, from where I'm at with things. I mean, most people already know now that I actually report directly to a couple federal agents in the DOJ in my area. Been in contact with them since after our raid, and I've utilized them, and they've utilized me as a resource since then. I can tell you firsthand that the federal level DOJ depends on us civilians, citizens, in taking civil action in a lot of cases, because they're like every other law enforcement agency, shorthanded, overwhelmed, full of cases that they can't, and they're held to a lot higher conviction rate. The DOJ has like a 99% conviction rate. So, I mean, that's a status that they are trying to uphold. They're trying to keep it. So in that, what happens is there's a lot of cases that are pretty solid, but they're not solid enough to ensure that they're absolutely cannot lose. So in the ones where they're sure, but they're like, shit, man, we're not going to be able to get our prosecutor to prosecute this because, there's a slight little chance that they may not get the conviction. They're depending on we the people to file civil suit and to take civil process action, because in the end result, if you do prove, say that there was an excessive force violation or any constitutional violation in the end of your lawsuit, that gives the prosecutors for the DOJ an even stronger case in the end. So a lot of times they're waiting until the result of the civil case, of the civil process, so that they can utilize it in the end to better their case. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I see James here saying that he asked for body camera footage. I want everybody to know, especially here in New York. I don't know how all states are. Like some states, you just can't get body camera footage unless you get a subpoena. But like here in New York State, you'll get the body camera footage unless they have a legitimate reason by the courts that they don't have to give it out, like pending litigation or pending lawsuits or investigations it will affect. But like, this chief of police try to use future investigations it may hinder, but like at the end of the day, you do a FOIL request for body camera footage, they deny it, you have a process to appeal it. And I show these processes, and I think it's very important to show these processes because it's not always that people know that they have that appeal process. And once they deny the appeal, you can sue them for it, and the judge is going to look at it and say, why can't he have this? And they have to plead a case of why they can't have it. And I got a whole video of what the chief said. Like he tried muddying the water, talking about my past. He tried muddying the water, talking about all these things, and he talked a bunch of smoke. And not one thing on his affidavit that he swore to had anything to do with why it should be denied. The judge looked at it and was like, give it to him. They're like, well, we don't want to give it to him. The judge is like, well, I'm going to be the judge whether he can have it or not. So get me the footage. And then all of a sudden they're like, well,
nice,
it's gone anyways. It's deleted. And the judge is like, well, you better find it. And then they showed the Axon body camera trail where so they ended up getting spanked in court. But like, understand that sometimes I have an attorney, Brittany Penberthy. She's excellent. She loves me and the channel. She works with the channel. She appreciates the work I do, and she understands that of public service of what it is and that. But at the end of the day, I had to pay her $1,000 to get that footage. But you know what? When they lost in court with no legitimate purpose, like that, all that smoke that chief talked in that affidavit on that video,
made a hell of a point.
My attorney fees.
And you made a hell of a point
And
to the
he
team.
made a hell of a point. So like, I got this guy here, he says he filled out the form and they didn't respond at all. So in New York State, on a FOIL request, if they don't respond at all, that's a denial. You wait 30 days and you appeal it on day 31. All right. And if they don't respond to that, you wait the 20 days and you file the lawsuit. But another thing you got to think about when you're doing these appeals and stuff is you got to bury them with truth and stuff for like court. So like, for instance, like Lancaster, New York is infamous. They're horrible with it. So like, I go to town board meetings, I document that I go to the town board meetings and ask the town about it. I put the appeals into everybody and I warn them there's going to be litigation, so that, and you take all these steps and you write all these things and you do all these things so that when you do have to go to court, you get your attorney fees back because you show that you took every single step. You did everything you could to get that footage and to do it without having to go to court. And when they deny it and they have no legitimate purpose in court, that's the only way you're going to get your attorney fees back. But I mean, like, I have no problem as part of activism and showing the people the way this stuff works is filing them lawsuits. I mean, I have no problem. Even like my attorney says, I don't know if we can win this in court. I said, well, it's always a win. To me, it's a win. I don't care if they don't give it. I don't care if they delete it. It's all a win because you know what? At the end of the day, I get to expose the system. I get to expose how it's broken. I get to expose how they're tyrants. I get to expose even like a corrupt judge that doesn't get it out. Like if Lockport City Court somehow finds me guilty of harassment when there's no harassment and the whole world can see it, that's a win. It's a win. I'm going to have to appeal it, and it might cost me a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I'm going to expose a corrupt judge. I'm going to expose a corrupt system. And what they don't understand is every time they throw a pair of handcuffs on an auditor, every time they file a charge against an auditor, you know what happens? 2 or 3 more people pick up a camera and they go at it. And that's a win. It's a win. All right?
And it also upsets people to the level to it. Right. There's a fine balance. You don't want to upset people so bad that they get violent, but to allow people to see what's going on you know, to be able to be the person that the conduit that exposes what's really happening. You do have a certain need for people to see that, to get upset enough to become proactive themselves, you know. And like I said, some, you know, everyone has a different way of being proactive, some more ways than others, you know. Some might just do it by a single vote, some might just do it by a phone call, you know. Some people do it by voting and a phone call and going in there themselves with a camera, making a record request. You know, there's different levels of all these people who have the ability now to see what's going on in these government offices, you know. And I'm talking about specific ones, you know, like when you were at, I'm sorry, Dan, I don't know where you were where that happened. But
Lockport.
There you go. So now the people of
actually
Lockport,
pronounced Lieport. Yeah, they lie over
It's-
there a lot.
but now you might have helped the people of Lieport see exactly what the chief's doing and exactly what, you know, even what the judge is doing, because it sounds like the judge did a good job. And, you know, the people of Lockport, I'm sorry, need to know that. They need to see that, and they need to become proactive. So it's not just about one thing or another thing that you get out of it. The accomplishments are never ending when something is exposed.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I love exposing it. I mean, it's always a win. I mean, Lockport put me over the top on, you know, a couple extra 1,000 subscribers. And you know what else happened with Lockport is 2 local news, like Channel 4 and Channel 2, both did a story on it. And
saw that.
the attorney says to me, he goes, I have never in my life seen news stations, let alone 2 news stations, take the side of the charged person over the government.
Yeah, and I'm all
So
the way
that says
here
a
in
lot too
Indiana.
about the whole case here in Lockport. I mean, like, Lockport's only burying themselves in stupidity.
I'm all the way here in Indiana, and I saw that one of those news articles without it being through your channel. Before I learned it, I can't remember what platform it was, but I seen it and I was like, holy crap, that's Dan. And then I went over to your channel and saw, you know, the rest of it. So it's getting out there. I mean, I'm in Southern Indiana. You're in New York.
I mean, when the local news start taking the side of somebody like me, it's a huge turning point. It's like when my channel first came to the news, and they would say stuff like so-called journalist or so-called First Amendment auditor, right down to eventually staying professional. Before you know it, now they're taking my side on stuff, because at the end of the day, they see the writing on the wall. If they can do this to me, they can do it to them. And they don't like it. They don't like it because at the end of the day, I'm staying professional. I'm doing journalistic work, and they don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, for a long time, like the local news stations would ask permission to come into an interview, and then they see me just going in there and taking my interview. You know what I mean? I'm taking back
Oh, I
land.
know.
I'm taking back land that they don't have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm taking back our rights for them, and they see the writing on the wall when they start doing stuff to me. And you know, we have these rights, like going into the clerk's office, recording the clerk's office without speaking to the clerks is not harassment. That's a constitutionally protected activity.
Yeah. Did you see my video where the sheriff's house that I had exposed got raided?
No, I didn't.
All the mainstream was out there, every channel out there on the road, and they were videoing with their high-dollar equipment that can zoom in from miles away. And I talked to them for a minute. I was like, "Hey guys, I told you so," you know, because I've been reporting this stuff to everybody, you know, for years, and for a minimum 1 full year, I was trying to get mainstream involved on, you know, digging with me, and you know, they didn't disrespect me. They just kind of didn't think I was right, you know, until that day. So, so in the video, you'll see I walk past the whole line of them. I say hi to everybody. I point out, I told you so, I told you so. And then they're talking to me, and I was like, you all have to excuse me while I go do for public safety shit. And I ran up to the driveway and started, you know, filming what the cops had on their papers and, zooming in all the way up to where they're inside the windows. And I figured out they were cutting a safe open in the back of the house. And, so they're like, after watching me do that for a few minutes, they're over laughing. And they just grabbed their tripods up and started carrying their cameras and came with me.
Yeah.
And then now
Had
they
to
call
lead the
me.
media to it.
Now they call me. I don't remember what you said they used to call your channel, but now they call me government watchdog.
That's
the
what my
mainstream
federal
does.
judge. That's what the federal judge called me on a probation hearing when they wanted to ban me from going to public buildings, and the judge said, "Nope, he's a watchdog for the community."
I like the term. I'd take it in. I think it's fitting.
I think it's fitting for a lot of auditors out there that they're not. So the mainstream media is still not coming around like they need to be, unless they get enough to make it. I don't get it. I don't get the mainstream media where you guys are exposing so much stuff as auditors, and the people aren't getting to see it because mainstream media won't show it, or they won't do anything with it until there's actual charges stemming from your folks' investigations. So
Well,
they're not leaders; they're followers.
it's not they, because some try. I'm close with a few of the journalists from the mainstream here, and they're very proactive behind the scenes, believe it or not. And then when they go to do things utilizing their companies, they have lawyers that are very cautious about what they put out. Whereas we're constitutionalists. We know we're backed by the Constitution, and that's the law we're worried about when we walk in. So they're worrying about all these little things that costing the company money, and is this the battle that we want to pick? Is this something that's exposed to the level of our certainty? So they're looking for certainty, in my opinion. They're looking for the ones where they can't be sued, and they're different than us because we're not commercial. Like, I know that's a confusing subject for a lot of people with YouTube channels, but YouTube channel people doing what we're doing, we can file as business all we want and pay taxes on business all we want on a YouTube channel, but that does not make us commercial. Whereas the mainstream are typically commercial media. So they're held to a different standard. And I'm not covering for the ones that aren't being proactive enough. I'm just saying that there's more to it than that.
I got you.
Trying to pull something.
Oh, I agree.
I've got one.
Shakur Capital wants to come up. Shakur Capital, it's pinned right there at the top. If you want to come up onto the panel.
I don't know why, for whatever reason, it is not allowing me to bring him up. All right, I got something here. Oh, I got him here. I got something here. I want y'all to see.
Hey, what's up, bro?
So, this is the federal judge sees longstanding problems with federal prosecution evidence over to turning evidence over to the prosecutors for defense. This is a federal judge in the Western District here who is literally throwing under the bus the federal government for not, following the law. And this is Judge Villardo. This is my probation officer, or my probation who I'm under control of. So, like, in the case that I have a great judge who is on the people's side and on the side of justice and not just doing what the government wants. This is Judge Villardo. He's a judge for the people. He is a judge who is on the side of justice. He's not on the side of the government, like throwing people under the bus. He's a very fair judge. He's a very stern judge when he needs to be stern. But this is a whole article about him literally telling the prosecution that the prosecutors that they're not doing due justice and not doing stuff accordingly. So this is an article that you guys can all look up, and this is a local judge here in the Western District of New York, and he also just happens to be the judge that is in charge of me and my fate no matter what, with the probation. So this is Judge Villardo in the Western District of New York, and I think he deserves some good props. And not only is he a great judge, he's here for the people. I mean, one of the things that was told to me about this judge that I had was it's not too often that the federal government puts somebody in for the people, but every now and then they might slip one in. And this guy is a great judge. He's a very fair judge. Like I said, he's a very stern judge when need be. I mean, I've been rebuked in court about calling the guy sweeper boy, yet he called me a community watchdog for the community and sees the good in what I do, yet he's very stern. That's just one example of a great judicial judge in the department here, but I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Yeah, there's some good judges still out there. It's always gonna be some good people, some people in positions that are doing a good job and others that don't. It would be nice to see everyone in paid government positions doing their job accordingly. Like that's what we want to
things
get
would be
to.
running a lot smoother.
Yeah. Well, right now, what's happening is there's so few that actually do things professionally and lawfully that we get to single them out when they do and say, this one's doing a good job, which is, no offense to those people that deserve the credit, but it's also pathetic that, we can't say that about 80-90%. And then we're only singling out the one that's doing a bad job here and there. That's where we need to get. We need to get to there.
Well, I think I just wanted to say a couple little things, but cool with the judge, Dan, pointing him out. But I have like 3 federal cases, and I don't want to bore you guys with all the cases I got, but I can tell you I did count. So it's a total of 17 legal actions that I have pending right now. But what you were saying, as far as the ones that are bad or difficult or want to rule against you, I'm doing a lot of my stuff pro se. And what I'm saying now, we have to not work with the judge, but make him go against what he wants to do. So he wants to go against you, and it. So now it's your job to get him to do the opposite of what he wants to do. And I unfortunately, we talked last week, I believe. I have no choice. The lawyers don't want to take it. I have a judge that I don't want to say he is, but they say he ruled against blacks and Hispanics 50% worse than he does white. And he has at least 3 of my cases. So, I'm not saying he is racist, but naturally judges want to go against the plaintiff, especially when they're pro se. So what I'm doing is I'm saying that's fine. I'm not getting him taken off the case, even though for one of the cases I would prefer. I'm gonna just do it and work, to go up the hill and try to get over the hill and get the result that I want. We have no choice, and we can't just say, well, I'm gonna throw in the towel because it's gonna be difficult. That's how I see it. But it is a total of it's 3 or 4 in the federal. But it's a total of 17 I got going. And Dan, I did put a link in the background. I don't know if you still can see it. It's just some falsification. I know you guys talk about how the police can lie, but pretty much it's a revocation letter, a picture of that, and it's a link to a video of the actual stop. And pretty much what they put on a revocation letter didn't happen. And I've been trying to get the video footage. And I want to ask you guys and your subscribers to actually request the audit trail. I've requested the audit trail for another video, and they won't give it to me, trying to say I'm a threat. So if someone else requests it, and because it's going to go under the right to know, anybody could get it and it's public. The audit trail is a public document. It doesn't necessarily go with the body cam in my state. So you can do a records request for the audit trail, and then the body cam, we have a whole separate law.
Shakur, you're in Philadelphia, right? That's for Philadelphia?
Yep, Philadelphia, PA. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you need somebody local in Philadelphia to do that for you?
I mean, well, yeah. If they're going to deny it, because they're going to have to actually appeal it, and they're going to actually have to go to court. And I've been I told you I got at least, so I got total 17 legal actions, and I have at least 5 to 7 in Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas on appeal for body cam and right to know requests. And I really went down to sue them for prior restraint, to be honest, for them deleting that footage. They knew exactly what they was doing. They was wrong as hell for that. And anybody intentionally delaying any of my body cams or right to know requests, I'm filing federal civil rights lawsuit for First Amendment prior restraint. And I
Well,
actually
let me recommend a different avenue, if you don't mind. I'm not giving you legal advice.
Mhm.
I'm just saying you might try a different avenue. So, like, one of the things I practice is they're both constructive. So you can follow the civil law, and you can, at the same exact time, seek criminal law to be executed as well. You keep saying prior restraint, and I think that's arguable in a civil court more than it is in the kind of court you're in. What if you were to use the word obstruction?
You
Possibly.
are right. I haven't done enough research on obstruction because I think I haven't done the research to make it. I'm not gonna say to make it stick, but to be able to utilize it. So I have to do.
Well, go ahead and take a look in your state's statutes under obstruction and follow through the subs and see if you have one that is specifically for government agencies who are keeping you from getting your records that you have a right to get. Believe it or not, most states have an obstruction law for that.
Yeah, and I know it's deprivation of rights, and I warned them. I filed a motion. The lady, the attorney representing the Philadelphia Police Sheriff's Office, she got the open records officer to make a sworn, on a sworn statement saying that she didn't receive notice, so she didn't receive the appeal, saying I didn't, pretty much I failed to service her. But I actually did, and I have, the return receipt, I have the tracking, and I had it signed and everything, and I also had the emails. I don't even have a printer, so I have the emails of me printing it out at Staples, and then eventually mailing it off. So I sent all that in, and I told him, you don't get qualified immunity for prior restraint because you've been warned multiple times. I asked the judge to warn him, and I told him it could be a conspiracy because if the lawyer is telling, and James Freeman just did a video on it, if the lawyer is telling the open records officer to do something that's against the law, I'm actually going to do the conspiracy with it. And I know lawyers won't take it up, but I'll do the work. I'm smart enough. We have enough new technology for me to be able to do it, although it won't be easy, but I'm tired of it and need to get nipped in the bud.
What law are they breaking? So conspiracy requires 2 or more people that are working in congruent to violate a law. So what's the law?
The law is the violation of the First Amendment because James Freeman just did a video on it. What he said was the attorney was instructing the open records officer to do something against the law to stop the person from getting the records that they requesting. That falls underneath the First Amendment. So it's conspiracy to violate rights and deprivation of rights. Both of those, they're right in line. And if it's going to be tracked because it's going to most likely be digital communication from the attorney. It could actually be over the phone. And over the phone is the one that's harder to track. But the city attorneys represent multiple agencies, and their issue is, and I don't understand why they don't notice it, they represent multiple agencies and they've been doing the same thing over and over. So the city attorneys that's involved with it, they won't be able to get away. I'm not gonna say they won't be able to get away with it, but they can't act like they don't know what they're doing because they did it for the police when I requested records from them. They did it for the sheriff's office, and they also did it for the city attorney's office or whatever agencies that I've
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm asking you. I'm struggling over here trying to figure out
the law
how it's First Amendment violation directly because
they are. But what they're doing is they don't have a legal basis for denying me the request.
I understand that. Okay.
They're using illegal means to deny records requests. Like when they deleted, I'm so pissed they deleted that video.
But what's the law violation, Chikura? That's what I'm asking.
The law, like it's freedom of speech. I'm a community activist, and I haven't been publishing right now, but I published my videos and my work in the process. on YouTube.
So you're saying that they're denying you the records so you won't publish them?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Consider looking into the obstruction avenue instead of citing First Amendment, or you can do both, because one's civil and the other's criminal. Okay, and I think from my experience, I think what actionable stuff they're looking for in the criminal nature is, they're looking for a statute violation, like a criminal code violation. So conspiracy requires 2 or more people to commit a crime, not a violation, but a crime. And there is also conspiracy under 242, which is to commit a violation, but you have to prove precisely that it's directly a constitutional violation on one person. And it's really hard to utilize the First Amendment because the First Amendment is so broad. Like it covers everything in law, literally.
But if we do the civil, see, this is the problem they're gonna have. They can't argue qualified immunity. So they don't have qualified immunity, and they have when I won my appeals in like like Dan was explaining, you can appeal a denial. The appeals officer wrote the decision. They said the arguments used were had no legal basis and not even reasonable. And in that encounter, they gave me the records, shortly after losing that. But they have done multiple times. They have continued to use similar things, or what they do is they use sworn affidavits that's false. Like Dan is the perfect example. Like when they came up with this BS harassment, when I saw that, I wasn't happy to see that he had to deal with that, but I was happy to see that it was documented and that he get to show people, because pretty much I'm experiencing, and I'm glad it didn't affect him adversely, although he has to deal with the case and I believe he'll win. But I'm experiencing that same thing, but I'm doing I don't have a lawyer, so I'm fighting it myself. So pretty much I'm getting slandered in sworn affidavits, and it's completely false. And they're using those reasons to deny the providing the records. So I was very disappointed, to find out that they deleted the video footage. And I know Dan's got a lot going on, and he has lawyers, so he's lucky. But I'm doing mine pro se, and I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it, and the lawyers, they're good, so I can beat them in there in the wrong. Like I said, they're in the wrong anyway. It's just like I missed half of work, this week. I had to file a response motion because they filed a motion to dismiss for lack of service, but I'm doing it because, like I said, lawyers are too scared. I think Chili had a lawyer on, the DUI lawyer, and he said the lawyers, they're too scared and they don't want to upset their judges and their friends. So that's why they won't do the cases. And that's not good enough for us. We're going to be screwed, so much if we let this continue to go on. So I'm doing something about it. I'm not a person that could see something that's wrong, and then don't do nothing about it. So,
are you arguing in a criminal case or in a civil case?
So I don't have any more criminal cases. They already put a case on me, and we got it dismissed. But what I'm doing is most of my cases are Fourth Amendment violations, Second Amendment violations, and a lot of First Amendment prior restraint cases and appeals to denials to either body cam or right to know request. So
So they're all civil. All these are civil court.
Have no criminal. I mean, I shouldn't have had the, like I said, the one I spoke on last time, I shouldn't have had that, but I'm trying to get an attorney for that, even though I didn't file a Fourth Amendment claim, and I did want to talk to you guys and see what you guys think, but I filed a First Amendment claim for them putting the picture up in the 14th Amendment claim, which caused me to be falsely identified, intentionally violating my rights and getting me locked up and everything. But there is a Fourth Amendment claim as well, because if they did those, if they did those intentionally, then they never had probable cause in the first place. But I'm still trying to get a lawyer because they see it weird how to argue it, and then they see qualified immunity, and they just don't want to do it. So I don't want to, for you guys. I was going to put a tweet up with all the case numbers and names and stuff, so I'll probably do that a little later. But
my question for you is: are you going to start producing some videos of all this?
I am. Like I sent you a video. It's a video of me getting arrested illegally, and I sent a link to the paper saying that my license.
Where'd you send it to?
I put it in the chat. The back.
Send it to my email.
Okay. You know what? Let me get my other phone. I'll do it right now. But yeah. So I am going to be posting videos, and I'm glad you asked that. But like I said, that warrant that I showed you guys last week. That's the reason why I stopped posting, because they use my YouTube channel as part of the reason, as fluff evidence to get the search warrant. You know, they said he engages in open carry and police. What was that term?
But you're past the criminal case, right?
Yeah, but see, this is the problem. People don't. That's why I'm trying to. I thank you guys for letting me up. I filed 5 police complaints. There's no telling if they're going to retaliate. Like, they could come busting in right now, as we speak, because like what I'm doing, like so they have good fraternal police lawyers, but their lawyers, as far as these right to know requests and denial of body cam, they're going to lose these, and they're going to be found guilty for denying these, as well as lying on sworn affidavits. That's a problem for them. Their lawyers aren't good enough, and they're wrong in the first place. Like, the arguments, I can defeat their arguments. Me and ChatGPT, we can defeat the arguments. They're just stupid arguments.
Hold on. Wait. I got an idea. It's Dan. Why don't you send Shakur your case where your lawyer just beat the body camera footage case?
I don't know if it'll have much effect because he's in Pennsylvania and I'm in New York.
I didn't mean to use his case law. I meant to see how to argue it, so he can see how your lawyer effectuated it.
Yeah, that would help. I mean, but I've already. So I have 3 right now that I'm doing a motion for reconsiderations on. But the main reason, and this is why I'm appreciative of being on. But the main reason I lost my arguments is because they had police officers on sworn affidavits lying. That's you got to understand. Like, when a judge went with it.
Are you even doing depositions?
Normally body cam requests, we can possibly use them, but normally you wouldn't do that in a just.
Well, you would if you suspected an officer is going to lie. You want to do a deposition for? I can't give legal advice. I'm going to get myself in trouble.
Guys, I'll be right back.
You're going to need to. You're doing a good job fighting the fight, brother. But I think, you need to look at some other cases and see how they came. Like dig deep and look at how they've been put together. That way you can see how they fought the battles before the walls came up. You can't just go into court, at the end of everything and say, I'm ready to go. Part of being a lawyer is knowing what they're going to do by the time they get there. And you got to stop that before it happens. And one of the things that's utilized the most in civil law, in my opinion, is depositions, because then you have them already sworn with the statement before court. So you're not waiting until you get in the courtroom to find out, oh crap, this guy's going to lie on an affidavit. Well, it's already too late. You didn't have the deposition of him telling the truth. So, or the knowledge that he was going to lie by the time he got there. So then you don't know how to argue it when you get up on the stand.
Public for safety, I'm gonna send you the email since Dan is going. I don't have his email address. Is that cool?
You can, homie. I'll tell you, to be honest, I'll definitely try, but I am so wrapped up in this.
No. Unless you already have his email, but I could post the video and take it down from my channel right now. You guys, that's what I might.
Well, be careful, because I don't know about you, but everything that I publish is used. Like, that's why I have a delay. A lot of people that watch my channel probably don't know this, but a lot of the reason I have a delay between the time I actually take the video and the time that I put it up is because I have to make sure that I'm not still exposed to what they'll learn from the video before I already have the next thing done, if that makes sense. Because as soon as I publish, the people that I'm exposing know what I'm doing next. So it's kind of like chess. You gotta be 3 moves ahead of them. And as soon as you publish that thing, if you're worried about them using it against you, for example, they will. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or if you're using it in court, you just there's certain things you just cannot put out there, no matter how bad you want everybody to know, until after you get past a certain point in the legal system where it can't be reversed or changed.
Yeah, Dan. Can you put your email in the chat so I can send it?
It's auditingeriecounty@gmail.com.
Okay.
But
all right, let's see.
I'm going to use this to do a plug. You okay with me doing a plug, Dan?
I don't care.
I've been busting my ass all night to get my video done. I finally got my video completely cleared for tomorrow at 1 Eastern Standard Time. So the premiere is up and ready to go, and everybody, it's green. So we're good to go.
I just spent a shitload of time editing one up, and it's freaking yellow.
That's what happened to me on mine.
And it's videos from other people that I'm redoing and with some commentation, and theirs ain't yellow, so I got to wait for the YouTube to go through the process of making it green again.
It can take days or hours. It just depends on. I mean, some of them turn like this one here. I didn't realize it had been yellow. I got it done a couple days ago, and it was yellow, and I didn't even realize it. So I went to set it for tomorrow's drop, and I was like, son of a bitch, it's yellow. So I went through and redid it, and just got it done right before I came up on here, and it's green. So it'll be dropping tomorrow.
So while we're sitting here, I want to throw a video up here. This is the news coverage of Lockport. I don't know who all seen it, who didn't, but this is 7 minutes and 11 seconds of mainstream media time covering the Lockport case.
I loved that one. Hey,
Wow.
I'm going to hop out before you start that. I want to tell you guys I love you. Thank you for having me up there, Dan. Good luck, Shakur, and love you, Cliff. And I will see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, we're at
sounds good.
2 hours and 50 minutes here on this stream, and I'll probably end it at the 3-hour marker. So we're gonna watch this little short video, then we'll probably shut it down shortly after that. But I want you guys to see this mainstream media coverage of Lockport, New York.
And topping the news at 4:30, some people think he's stirring up controversy for clicks and views. Others say he's providing a community service. Either way, Dan Warmus finds himself in a difficult situation these days. His First Amendment auditing activities in the city of Lockport are prompting accusations of harassment, which he denies.
News 4 Investigates takes a closer look at how these harassment charges, if they stand, could impact conditions of his federal probation. Luke Moretti has more.
I will never go down the wrong side of history. I'm not built like that. It's not going to happen. I will continue going at it. I will report the truth.
A defiant Daniel Warmus tells News 4 Investigates that his First Amendment auditing of government facilities will continue despite legal pitfalls all around him.
Yes, it does take emotional toll, and it takes a toll where I think to myself, should I give it up? Should I stop? Is it worth the prosecution that I could face? Is it worth having to stare down judges? And the answer is yes.
You see, Warmus's freedom could be at stake. The self-described accountability auditor is still on probation for his participation in the January 6th insurrection of the U.S. Capitol. His federal probation comes with special conditions, namely that if his audit activities result in charges of harassment or disorderly conduct, that could be considered a violation, and Warmus could face several options, including incarceration.
And I'm not afraid. I'm not going to say prison is fun. Yeah, nobody needs to ask permission for their First Amendment rights. You have to understand that, right?
Warmus runs the YouTube channel Auditing Erie County. He posts videos of his encounters at government facilities, testing constitutional protections, and then grading the interaction with a pass or fail.
What was the point in not giving that number out?
With 81,000 subscribers and counting, his stuff gets seen. Critics say Warmus, who considers himself a journalist, is out to get clicks and views by stirring up controversy and embarrassing government employees.
Why do you guys not have your body cameras on? What are these things for? So you can violate people's rights without being on video?
But Warmus says every audit subject receives the same treatment and that he very rarely cuts down video. And if he does, it's to keep it under an hour long.
But number one, I want the integrity. I don't want people to be like, well, he creates a controversy, then he just shows what you want to see. Right? That never happens with auditing Erie County. Now, if I wanted to have 200,000 subscribers, if I was there for clicks and views, the best way for me to do that would be to become an entertainment auditor, to cut down the videos, to not show past videos. Yeah, I'm here to appeal the denied full request.
His video recordings at Lockport City Hall over the summer are ruffling some feathers. 4 employees in the clerk's office filed harassment charges against him. Warmus, who's from Alden, denies harassing anyone and believes the city is retaliating against him for his Freedom of Information requests and a lawsuit he filed challenging the city's denial of those requests.
I don't see no harassment. My attorneys don't see no harassment. All I see is malicious prosecution, retaliation.
Media attorney Joseph Finnerty, who specializes in First Amendment matters, has been watching the Warmus case closely.
He has a right to be in a publicly open spot, particularly a spot that's open by government for the people to come into.
According to the complaints filed by employees in the clerk's office, Warmus entered the building with a camera to film them, which caused them alarm.
He's there to do the people's business. He's there to oversee the conduct of government. And that's what journalists do. That's what citizen journalists do. And we all have a right to see how government operates.
Warmus filed a Freedom of Information request with the city of Lockport for police body camera footage stemming from a February recorded audit of a State Department of Labor office. Lockport police responded to the scene with body-worn cameras rolling, but the request was denied, then appealed by Warmus, and then denied again, prompting Warmus to sue the city. On the day the lawsuit was served, Warmus was there to record it.
My name's Samantha. I'm a passive server. I'm just here to serve you with a lawsuit.
To show the public for educational purposes of, all the steps, including it. And I just simply filmed the lawsuit being served.
The city's attorney tells News 4 Investigates that during a recent appearance in court, there was substantial discussion about the lawsuit and a possible resolution. The attorney believes that the city and Warmus are near an amicable resolution on this matter.
All set?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm all set.
All right. Thank you.
An affidavit submitted by City of Lockport Police Chief Stephen Abbott states that he recommended that the city deny the Freedom of Information request because the records were compiled for law enforcement purposes and may be relative to a pending law enforcement investigation.
And they denied the body camera footage with the excuse that body camera footage is derived for law enforcement purposes, and there may be a future investigation, which no criminal activity happened that day. So that what criminal investigation could they be doing? I'm not sure.
First Amendment attorney Joseph Finnerty, who considers Warmus's audits journalism, says there's a history of government using certain tactics to chill reporting and accountability, whether it be a citizen or paid journalist pressing. In Warmus's case, he must now defend himself against harassment accusations brought by the city of Lockport, which Finnerty sees as a serious infringement on the right to examine government operations and records.
And I think that they are walking a very, very fine line between legality and illegality. And in this case, I don't think there's any question that they're on the wrong side of that line.
An attorney for Warmus tells News 4 Investigates in an email that he doesn't believe the court will see any violation of conditions in the video, and that he would be shocked if the judge hasn't viewed it already. Luke Moretti, News 4.
I'm glad you got a good judge, Dan. When I saw that, that's literally what I'm going through in a slightly different way. And for them to actually try to pull that is ridiculous. and you on pro. That is just. But I'm glad the world got to see it. Like you said, it's a win, and it didn't affect you. Like you didn't have to get arrested and all that crap. But clear BS, and you showed everything. That was great. I couldn't believe that.
Awesome work. I'm thinking that they're now looking at you as a real quote unquote journalist that you are. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, like when I saw the video, I was just thinking in my head, like, I can't believe they actually put this on sworn affidavits. Like, I couldn't. Well, I mean, I know actually, I have sworn like this, so I actually could believe it. But the fact how malicious it was, considering that you're on probation, that's what really got me. Like, this is like direct intent, and then the other lawyer got your probation conditions changed to like. But hopefully, in the lawsuit, they're gonna be screwed so bad it ain't gonna make no sense.
Yeah, the worst thing that's going to happen to Lockport is somehow it violates my probation, because at the end of the day, they're not going to win, whether it has to be appealed or not. And the lawsuit's going to be nasty if it ends up violating my probation. That's going to be, $1 million lawsuit versus, 20 or 30,000. It's going to be up to, I don't know. It's incredible. Like, the extent that they're going through to try to do it. And then when the attorney was in court for the body camera footage lawsuit, the attorney says, "Oh, we're working with probation to try to violate his probation." It's like, oh, you're going to admit that in front of a judge. Interesting.
What?
And the real thing of it is, too, Dan, is you were
Can't make
never
this stuff
rude
up.
to those ladies. You were never rude. You were never.
Never even spoke to him, really.
It's. I know. It's all because of a camera. Because they got to know that they're doing wrong things, and they don't want a camera in there. So, yeah, great story. Good job on it. Thanks for having me on the panel tonight. And I'm out.
All right, Cliff. Thanks for asking to bring me up. I appreciate that. Now, Dan, if you're going to be able to see the video and the picture I sent?
I have the video in the email. I'm going to review it in that. But what I'd like to see out of you is some, video about commentary and like how I put it together, where you explain things that are going on and expose some of this, because I don't know if you think it would hurt your cases and that's the reason you're not, or you just don't have the time. But I'd really like to see it, especially if I'm going to keep bringing you up on an auditor panel like this. Is part of it is that I like to see you be doing some auditing of some sort, whether it's auditing your experiences or actually doing auditing. I mean, like I said, on your channel, you haven't posted nothing in almost 2 years, it looks like. But I'd like to see you put together a nice video about some of the stuff that you're going through and some of the stuff you got, because you seem pretty intelligent. And I mean, I personally wouldn't want to be doing anything pro se, because these courts are slippery as sly it could be, and I think an attorney is a very important part of it. But I'd like to see you putting some of this material out, especially you want to come up here and be on the panel. I'd like to see some more of you showing it all.
Okay, I'll put something up this week. I'll put a video probably of a audit, and then I'll put one video up of me like explaining.
Yeah, put a video up of you showing this all, and maybe I can even showcase it on the next video where we do a panel or something, or even do a video about your video or something, anything you like. So yeah, but I'd like to see you do some more exposure, because it's one thing for these guys to get away with it and nobody knows about it, but it's another thing when everybody knows about it and they can't get away with it as easy. I mean, getting your stuff out in front of the public, I think it's important, because who knows how many people are going through exactly what you're going through, and they'll see it and they'll be like, oh, well, that happened to me too. And then you guys can get together, and all of a sudden it becomes a force instead of just one man battle,
Yep, I agree with you. I'll have something out, and that's what I want, because I'm just thinking if they were able to pull this against me, me, and I've actually, I think I said last week, our public records requests are actually free and body cam, because the price conflicts with the well, it's free to do body cam, but it's not free to do appeals on a records request. You actually have to pay, and I actually had to do an IFP because I didn't realize that, because I thought it was the same, but it's not. But I definitely will do what you said, and yeah, because I don't want no one else like other people to go through this as well, and people don't know about it because I didn't get my stuff out in time. So or spread it up, spread the information, when I could. So yeah, I'll have something. I have a couple things out.
Mr. Cucumber, just to let you know that all you got to do is hit the link. I think I got it pinned on the top, and it'll pull up a screen, and it does it right through a Windows browser or like an online browser, and you don't need to download any app. But the only thing I ask is people coming up generally on the auditors Saturday Night Live audits is that you have some videos of auditing on your channel. If you don't, if you want to come on the channel and talk about some things at a different time, but Saturday Night Lives with Auditing Erie County is going to be on every other week. And if it gets popular enough, we'll do it every Saturday night, especially through the winter. And the only thing I ask is that people want to join and hop in is that you have at least 1 or 2 auditing videos. There's no subscriber count thing, and that's the point I'm trying to make here with, Mr. Capital, is that we want some videos up. We want to plug channels and network with other channels and talk about auditing and that. But I want to see these people that are coming up have audits, and I know you have some videos up, Mr. Cucumber, about some of your phone calls you make and all that. So all you got to do is click the link. You'll be sent down into the basement, and then I'll bring you up on the panel. But as far as this panel, I think we're all done here today. We're at 3 hours and 4 minutes, and that is our Auditing Erie Saturday Night Live with Auditing Erie County. So I'll see you guys in the comments section. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, more videos will be rolling out for you guys.
Thanks. See y'all.